Oh, man. That was cool, right? Woo! Oh, that was fun. I had so much fun making that fucking thing. All right, guys, we're here. We're here for our Warpstone Cup League competitive league, or Warpstone Cup competitive league, WCCL. There we go. If I could give you $1 million, I would. Well, glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I have a bit of a lighting triangle set up here so we can actually use the green screen. Hope you guys, everything looks good. Everything should be pretty much up to snuff as far as designs go and everything. I probably fucked up something along the way, but we're going to start off with our first competitors here today. We have King of the Dead and Aristodemos II. They'll be squaring off in our first best of 3, followed shortly by Heylow versus Gundabad 1. Now, we do have, what this is going to be is it's just going to be like Turin's Eternal Challenger League. He gave me pretty much all the rules, what he did and everything. I mean, in fact, the song was recommended by him. He was like, hey, use this song. I was like, nah, yes, I'll allow it. So we've got our first match here today. But this really is going to span 4. I actually might even add a 5th one in, because there's been a lot of interest from everyone. So the 4 Warpstone tokens will be awarded, just like the pieces of 8 for the Eternal Challenger League. Essentially, the way this will work is... Oh, let me turn my mic up a little bit. Essentially, the way this will work is that whoever wins today's tournament will then go on to play in the finals. Of course, the finals will be the same type of format here. With 4 weeks, we'll have 4 competitors, just like we have for each one of these, in which case you'll do, 2 best of 3s and then a best of 5. We'll have a first, second, and third place, as always. But pretty much, guys, everything's going to be a very standard format we've already kind of played with before. Instead, it'll just be a little bit more structured this time around. So, without further ado, let's get started into our first match here. King of the Dead is going to be playing his lovely Tomb Kings against Aristodemos' Bretonnians. You guys are good to go whenever. So this should be a pretty fun matchup here. King of the Dead is really great at his Tomb Kings. That's like, it's one of his things. And Aristodemos, I haven't seen a whole ton of, so I'm curious to see what his big picks are, what he kind of focuses the most on when you're looking at Bretonnia versus Tomb Kings. You have a lot of answers for kind of riding through a lot of the chaff infantry you see in almost the King of the Dead, in the Tomb King line. And with the Tomb Kings, you have a lot of ways to really put the hurt to a very low morale faction like Bretonnia. So this should be interesting. A large smattering of constructs versus a lot of heavy horse should be kind of the name of the game here today. Let's take a look here. See, I heard there was a $2 million prize pool. Yeah. In fact, actually, there's a $2 million prize pool as donated by a police department. I can't mention the exact name of it, but here's the hint. Professor Pone works for the police department. He's so graciously put forward $2 million as prize pool money from Professor Pone's police department. That is huge. Big round of applause. Big round of applause for Professor Pone. Yikes. Hey, what's up, Sarmation? Let's see, who we got in the house? We got Professor Pone, we got Dr. Z, we got Crisp, we got Wicked, we got Pharaoh War, and I know a lot of these people are actually going to be playing in the next week, in the week 2 and week 3. A pro Warhammer player. Yeah, I guess so. Liam Naughton said, green screen, you mean Warpgate? Referencing the fact that my green screen always used to move. So... I actually have a gym bag placed so it won't move this time. Sarmation, yeah, of course you can get in, dude. You're on Discord. I'll message you. Dab for me? No, Dacklemore, get out of here with that. Phil and Pulsefire, what's up, dude? Zyphos is in the house as well. Rooting for his Bretonians. Here, I'm going to turn up the game volume here a little bit. I'll make sure you guys can hear that. Let me know if you want it even louder. I can definitely make that happen for you. But everything's looking good. I think we've got King of the Dead and Aristodemos on there. Okay, good. Barty, I would like a shout out as well. Pharaoh War. No, Pharaoh, you don't get your shout out, dude. Guys, Pharaoh War is a hot dog peddler. That guy, he just goes to like random people's weddings and like hawks hot dogs at him. Like, oh, you want a hot dog? You get 2. You wanted a hot dog? You get a chicken hot dog. Guy's fucking wild. Yeah, but guys, do make sure you're liking the stream. Those big thumbs, they seem pretty pointless, but they actually help out a lot of YouTubers. Kind of like I said, like I always say, it bumps you up in the authority, I guess you could say, or the quality, as far as like basically YouTube looks at, okay, what is the title of this? Are people watching it? Okay, they're engaged. Are they liking it on commenting on it? Okay, then they're extremely engaged, and it tells us that this content matches the title that people are then confirming back in like a feedback loop. Formation rooting for Aristodemos says he taught him everything he knows. We'll see how this goes. Professor Pipes, I just ate a foot-long Subway sandwich. It was great. So let's see what we got here. I've got the developer camera on, so it's not moving as quickly as I'd like it to. But for Dr. Z, not Dr. Z, I looked at Dr. Z. For King of the Dead's army here, looks like he's going to be doing some Tomb Kings with a nice front line of Tomb Guard. These guys are going to be, oh God, I'm sorry, the debug camera really fucked me up. These are really great options here because they're very strong. They're going to outperform the majority of the Bretonnian front line. Foot Squires are going to be able to put a lot of hurt and smackdown on them, but you know, they will cause fear. They are undead, so it's going to hurt a lot of men-at-arms, which is very typical to be fielded alongside Bretonnian cav armies. Now, behind that, we've got 2 units of Ushabti Great Bows, one of them being the Chosen of the Gods here. Now, the Chosen of the Gods, they get access, of course, to their Shield Breaker capability, which is great for a lot of the men-at-arms that can feel shields very, very cheaply. Then we've got 1 unit of Halberds. So, yeah, 1 unit of Halberds. 1 unit of Skeleton Warriors, and then we've got 2 units of Skeleton Spearmen. Now, he does also have King Fakov. King Nekesh's. Fakov is the other one, or the archers. King Nekesh's Scorpion Legion, which just simply have their nice poison attacks, which is great for anyone trying to cycle charge into them, like they will with Bretonnia, can slow them down with a little bit of a poison. And 2 units of Nehekar and Horsemen with 1 fat unit of Skeleton Chariots, which I know, you guys know how much I fucking hate chariots. And then I think he did that to me on purpose. A Tomb Prince and Arkin the Black. Didn't hear. Look at that. Just right through the map I went. I'll get the hang of this. I'm sorry, guys. I just switched the camera like last night, and so I forgot about that. So, let's go ahead and take a look here at Aristodemos' army. And he has a really nice kind of spread out army here. You can take a look here on the battlefield map by comparison. He's really using as much of that as he can to kind of negate this. That way he doesn't get a good wraparound from the Tomb Guards on him. Or, I'm sorry, the Tomb Kings on him. He's got a lot more board control. Now, a nice front line of men-at-arms. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then a nice second layer of Peasant Bowmen with Pox arrows. Now, I don't know why he went with Pox arrows over the fire arrows. I personally would have gone fire arrows. But I'm really curious to see how he uses these. Those Pox arrows are going to be really good to slow down any of the things that are attacking him from the flank to keep their momentum down a little bit, so that he can actually use either knights or any kind of spearmen or polearm infantry to kind of wrap them up. Then 2 units of normal peasant bowmen, and then a unit of men-at-arms with polearms, and then 3 supporting units of foot squires. This is a pretty common tactic here that we see. Go for it. This is a pretty common tactic that we see with the Bretonnians, right? Kind of having this secondary line of reserves that can come in and plug the gaps of anything that is kind of like faltering. So I'm really curious to see how this lovely little build goes. I keep saying I'm curious to see it. I'm just fucking stoked. We got 2 Knights of the Realm as well. We have King Lo and Leoncoeur on his Beacus, and 2 Grell Relics. Let's get this game going here, huh? Let's get this in real quick. I'm going to do this real fast, see if I can get this done quickly. Controls. All right, things are going off. Already getting some archer shots from the Ushabti Great Bows down into his archers, which was a really good target. The nice thing about... look at that. Oh my god, that was 1 volley. Just ate those guys up. Half health, knocked out. Fucking GG for those Beastmen, those Peasant Bowmen. Now, I was going to say is that these guys do have 160 range, so it's a really great, affordable way to get some really good range in on your archer, or your army with pretty low cost. But as you can see, just 1 volley each has just been deleting these guys. Can you guys hear the game? Sounds very Muted. Okay, first boom and charge. A rush of some skeleton chariots through those men-at-arms. Man, that just broke the hell out of everything here. Like, these Ushabti Great Bows are going on the line, just choosing one target at a time and just popping them. Oh my god. But the Battonions are answering in kind, getting a charge here, a cycle charge into those polearms who aren't braced, so the skeleton chariots are able to push through them easily. Then these men-at-arms are going to be crashing right into these Tomb Guard here. Oh yeah. Grill Relic here to support that leadership. A rear charge, boom, from that chariot into those men-at-arms as well here. Some polearms pushing up on the flank and trying to get that the Caster of Heavens into this fight here. A nice wind blast knocks a shit ton of these Tomb Guards out of order here. Have a wheeling of these Knights of the Realm as they push around, trying to catch up these chariots, put some hurt on them, and stop them from rampaging through the army here. Get a better look at the battlefield. And you can see here that the Tomb Kings are really winning the front line fight in the very dead center. The right flank is kind of holding. They're pushing in some halberds over to the right side, getting to these Nehekar horsemen. Really great play right there. But they're finally getting their archers kind of online and targeting down some of these Ushabti Great Bows. They don't really have the flexibility. I'm sorry, the Tomb Guards don't really have the flexibility to kind of rove around this battlefield without taking a good punishment. We've got a good charge here coming in. Some Knights of the Realm supporting their foot squires, trying to break into those Tomb Guard as fast as possible here. The Hekar and horsemen pushing through the backside, pushing over these peasant bowmen. The peasant bowmen have not been having a good time this entire time. And these chariots are just kind of running amok in the background. But the Knights of the Realm are on them. Knights of the Realm do have a really good anti-large bonus, so we'll be able to pop those chariots nice and good like. Massive deep lock. Lock your pretty mouth. Ooh. Just completely shattered on those peasant bowmen. Leonker trying to do any kind of assistance he can. Those Nehekar and horsemen are just pushing through the entire back line here. We have Realm of Souls level 2 has kicked off for the Tomb Guard just recently. It's going to be giving them an entire faction-wide or map-wide buff as far as giving them some health and resurrection capabilities. Harmonic conversions popped onto these foot squires, helping out with this one-on-one duel here. And you can actually see the Tomb Guard, despite what I said, are actually putting up a pretty good fight here, doing quite a bit of damage. Getting some men-at-arms into these spearmen over on this side. That Grill Relic kind of bolstering that leadership across the way here. Really, the big thing that's going to happen is, I think Aristodemos has to send Lone Loker onto the Arca in the Black. If he can shut down Arca in the Black, he's going to shut down a lot of utility the Tomb Kings have. In addition to that Tomb Prince, though, is pretty scary, so I understand where he's going with things. Things are going really well here on the rightmost flank for Aristodemos. He's popping out some of these spearmen. They do have a nice supporting Tomb Guards with halberds, so it's going to be kind of dicey here. And we do have some skeleton warriors that have gotten into the backline via a summon through Arkan's Tombblade. That has changed in some of the recent patches where now it summons up skeleton warriors rather than a nice big old bubble. Man, look at this though. Nehekar and horsemen have been running wild the entire game. And a good target here, getting these polearms onto the Ushabti Great Bow, forcing them to run away to get some better range, but at the same time, if these guys actually connect with them, they'll be able to do quite a bit of damage with their AP characteristics. Now, he is kind of baiting this out for the Nehekar and horsemen, unbraced Pullman, men-at-arm polearms. Oh, nice! Aristodemos kind of about face at the last moment here and stop them, try to give them a bit of a brace. They didn't have a huge unit cohesion though, so they are going to suffer a little bit, but at least they were braced as best you can be in that situation. You see, the Tomb Guard here, or the Tomb Prince here, is a really good bodyguard. It has anti-large and AP, so it's very, very, very scary against Leonker. Now Leonker is pretty much flying over two full, pretty good health units of Nehekar and horsemen, 2 units of Ushabti Great Bows. King of the Dead has got a really good control of the field right now. Really what's happened was that very early engagement where 3 units were popped almost before the front line was even met. So Aristodemos was kind of fighting an uphill battle from the start here. I've never seen Ushabti Great Bows delete peasant bowmen like that. Oh, wind blast ripping through those Tomb Guard. Man, just whopping about 40-50% health damage done to them. Wind blast is such a strong ability, and it's really the only ability that makes the Lore of Heavens worthwhile at all. But holy shit, when it gets off, it gets going. Oh, and I think we're having some morale issues as army losses kind of kick in. The balance of power is, for the most part, as I check right here, my camera's right over it. for the most part, is still pretty even. Leonker has jumped into the Hornet's Nest here. He is supported by his men-at-arms, which are now, unfortunately, routing. And he does have quite a bit of debuffs on him, including Spirit Leech. So it looks like the Alpha Strike is looking to get counter-Alpha Strike. The Alpha Strike meets a Beta Strike and an Omega Strike at the same time. There's so much striking going on. And really, this is the pivotal fight here, right? There's so much of King of the Dead's army still in full working order, while the rest of Aristodemos kind of flees away. King of the Dead summons up some Skeleton Warriors to help buckle in King Leonker for the long haul here, right? For the lady! Look at that. Just swarmed. The mighty King of Bretonnia. The consummate Grail Knight being torn apart by vicious skeletons. Aristodemos looks like he is conceding out of this one here. A pretty foregone conclusion at that point too anyway. So let's take a look at the post-battle report here before we jump into our next one. And get an idea of what's going on. Let me get some water, because I am dry. Oh, God. Oh. Okay. So, we have got a lovely... I mean, take a look at what Windblast did. Almost 150 kills off of that alone. Now, taking a look at King of the Dead's army, I mean, man, those Ushabti Great Bows did so much damage. 200 kills, pretty much, between the both of them. That's wet and wild, right? Sparty is dry whenever he makes everyone wet. That's kind of one way of putting it. Lame content ahead, boys. Thanks, Ninja Hund. You fucker. But yeah, so taking a look here at the Nehekar and Horsemen, dude, they're ripping and gripping through the whole thing. The Tomb King chariots, I mean, they were racing for pinks the entire time. Got 50 whopping kills. Even the Tomb Guard, which I said would probably struggle a little bit against the Foot Squires, actually outperformed them quite well. 78, 105, 127 kills. You can be comparing that, though, mostly to Men-at-Arms. But, I mean, when you take a look at Aristodemos' army, he had a lot of really good tools. I think that it just was a matter of those Ushabti Great Bows getting downrange and shooting the hell out of his army so fast. Like, man, it did a number of him. I haven't seen that kind of deletion that quickly. Ready? Oh, they have to kind of join back in because this is all bugged up. All right, let me see what's going on here. Hey, Queek, how are you, brother? Let me see what's going on. Let's see here. I forgot how the way the host works. It kind of boots you out. So I'm joining in here. We'll be ready to go for our next one. So taking a look at our bracket here again, just to kind of get an idea of who is going. We do have our, this is our first match of the day. And our second one will be, will kick off after this. King of the Dead is up 1 to Aristodemos' 0. So this is pretty much Aristodemos looking to stay in the fight with winning this next one coming up here. So let's kind of just get that, let's get that going back in. Oh, Jean-Claude Van Damme, what did you do? What are you doing here? Seriously, what are you doing here, Jean-Claude? There we go. Ready to go when you guys are. All right. So we'll be looking at Vampire Coast versus the, not the Dark Angels, wrong Warhammer, the Dark Elves here. Now, both of these are, I'd say, at the top of the kind of competitive meta right now. Wood Elves are always up there as well, but Dark Elves and Vampire Coast are pretty hot and heavy. He was supposed to be the best of us. What's heresy? Yeah, instead of a real force. Ninja Hunt, I'm glad you think I'm a warrior priest, man. That is a compliment. Who's better, Dark Elves or Dark Angels? Dark Angels, hands down, man. They got a bolter. One Dark Angel versus all Dark Elves. Psh, open and shut case, Johnson. Oh, man, where's my... That's upsetting. Well, while they're getting that set up, I just realized my alert box isn't active right now. Because, Liam, I just saw your donation, man. Thank you very much, dude. Let me, browser... There we go. Let me test something here. Testing a super chat. There we go.
Fortune favors the infamous.
And I didn't see your donation either, Wolf. Thank you very much for your donation as well, man. Sorry about that, guys. Looks like we got 200 some odd people watching here today. Let's make sure we're all pressing that like button, getting them thumbs up. Donate to yourself? No, I pressed a button that tests the alert. I was gonna send a cool. Actually, Chris Fanatic, if I used Super Chat to donate to myself, I would lose 30% of my own money. This is one of my favorite maps, especially for this event, right? For the Warpstone Cup, it's so fitting. This giant fucking hunk of Warpstone crashes near Mordheim, if this is near Mordheim, I think it is. You just have these giant just chunks. You got a Warpstone mine over here. There's probably all sorts of Skavens scuttering around this thing, all naked, looking for baguettes and fucking Warpstone cocaine. Thumb me, my brothers. That's how I make my own money. I'm basically money laundering myself. Alright, so this has got a... So this map here is pretty interesting because of this little ravine. This ravine will both hide and conceal you from any kind of artillery fire. With a map like this, it's great against Vampire Coast. So you can rush into this ravine, get a little respite from the oncoming hail of gunfire, or even use it to your advantage to move around it or the sides of it, however you want to do it. There'll be some spray works for you too. Alright, so let's take a look here at... We'll start with, unfortunately, King of the Dead. It looks like that's set up a little bit first, or a little bit faster. So King of the Dead has a good long front line of zombie pirate deckhand mobs. Yeah, just standard edition with... Jesus. I gotta turn off that. I'm sorry, guys. The Tides of Skjold, they are the frenzied variation of the zombie deckhand mobs. In addition, they also have... Well, they all have Rowdy, never mind. Right? No, they don't all have Rowdy. These guys, though, do. Gives them perfect vigor, which is great for little tiny zombies, I guess. And then it gives them that additional leadership. But at the same time, they do have Frenzy, which is great for just a nice little chaff unit here. Pay a little bit extra, get something a little bit nicer. Now, an interesting turn of events here. Zombie deckhand gunnery mobs with bombs. I actually have not seen the bombs in a single competitive match. So this will be the very first time that I'm seeing them brought here. They do quite a bit of damage. But the thing is that they actually can do quite a bit of damage to yourself as well, because they are fire damage and they'll do quite a bit of friendly fire. So King of the Dead has to be pretty careful in how he uses these. That's why he's got such a front line of absolute garbage and trash. Fatty Lumpkin, what's up, man? And then both of his flanks are anchored with some cheap, nice zombie deckhand polearms. He has got the Duck Gunners and the Deck Gunner Regiment of Renown unit, the Shade Wraith Gunners here. These guys are awesome because they do the discouraging shots. All sorts of goodies going on with them. Magic, AP, all that awesomeness. Both are supported by some polearms. They also have a Scurvy Dog and a Terrorgeist, the Death Shriek Terrorgeist. And then lastly, the Hard Knock Life with Count Noctilus. Looks like he has both his Sundial, his Summonings, and his Invocation of Heck. While they're marching across the way, I'll talk about Aristodemos' army here. So it looks like we're going to be seeing some Dark Elf action. Got some units of Bleak Swords in the front, staggered in with some units of Black Ark Corsairs with Hambos, which are great here. These guys are awesome because they can fire whilst moving, and they... Oh, well, I thought that would actually give me the pro... Oh, there it is. They have a 360-degree arc for their shot, which is really good here. So they can run around, do some damage here, fire whilst moving, shooting a 360. They have a really good no-scoping capability there. Now, in addition to that, we see that he's got a Canine Assassin, do a little damage. Hey, thank you for the donation, man. I'll take a look and see what it was in a second. Morathi on foot here. Interesting choice, but it will help to really kind of put some hurt into any large creatures. Which oh, look at that. Shade Wraith's just going in on those Black Ark Corsairs. We have another Canine Assassin. So looking to really do some serious damage to those large constructs. Then 2 units of Dark Shards with some Shades, and then a nice back line of Spearmen. Now, those Spearmen are undoubtedly to help out with any of the large beings that you typically see in a Vampire Coast army. It's very typical you'll see a nice line of crustaceans, of Morgulls, stuff like that. So this helps to really kind of screen that out. Deathstreak coming in here. It's looking it's going to get to the side of these Black Ark Corsairs. Maybe do some damage. Looking to get some just quick picks here. Just some quick initial engagement here. Morathi jumping in a little hog wild. It's kind of scared for this scenario. Gets punted up on the Deathstreak. And then we got to charge in from those wild dogs into the Corsairs. Who let the dogs out? Who? And a lore duel this fast in the game, huh? We're getting that Wraith, those Wraith shots dropped onto Morathi. Is it coming? Is it coming? There it is. Right from Count Noctis' special ability. Hitting her hard and heavy. Doesn't do a whole ton of damage, but, you know, any damage can do, especially towards the end of the game when it kind of adds up. And there was some skirmisher play that I didn't quite catch, but we've got 3 total units of Scurvy Dogs looking to get some good wrap-ups going here. Now, it seems that both factions are kind of timid about going into this ravine. It will limit the effectiveness of some of the ranged units on the Dark Elves, but at the same time, it'll line them up very nicely for King of the Dead. So I think Aristodemos sees this and is trying to push around to the sides of it and get some additional damage onto a flank before he pushes straight down the pipe into those bombs. Look at those just gunner mobs, those Shade Wraiths here, huh? They're going hog wild over here. Shades screening out that charge into these Bleak Swords. Zombie Pirate Deckhand mob being summoned up in the midst of them. Trying to just get everything kind of initial poking going on here. There's not a lot of initial big charges on this one. I think that this whole kind of bomber line is very scary to Aristodemos. He doesn't have a line that can really absorb those shots very well. In fact, everything he's got, for the most part, is the lightly armored variants of the Dark Elf line. There's no Harganeth Executioners. There's no Black Art of Nagaron. So we're not seeing the things that can typically absorb those shots without much fear. And you can see he's just kind of working his way down, kind of getting rid of these as he moves down the line here. Uh-oh. Look at that Canine Assassin. Using some Dark Riders to probe in, get some stuff knocked out. Still the first heat, Christian Bender. Another race shot coming down. Womp. See, I mean, she's taken 2 or 3 to the face. 2, actually. And she's gotten, what, like 20% of her health loss? So, I mean, it kind of returns itself. Dark Shards being supported, though, by those Dread Spears from the back line. Coming to good use here. Shade's in really bad shape, though. And like I said, he's pushing around, trying to get out of the major line of fire of those Gunners. Oh, man. That Death Shriek just missed a really good shot onto those Black Ark Corsairs with handbows. But that thing is getting focused down hot and heavy. Just mouth breathing its way back across its line. Uh-oh, Doombolt, drop it in. Oh, man, Doombolt Caradon did quite a bit of damage to the Shade Wraiths. Shit. All right, nice good charge, those Dark Riders. Gonna thread that gap there. Oh, yeah, right in on those Gunners. Great charge into those bombers. I keep wanting to say gunnery mobs. But we do have an overcasted summon of Zombie Pirate Deckhand mobs that are the gun variant, so they're going to be trying to push up, do some damage here. We can see some engagements coming in. We have those Bleak Swords coming out over the back. Got some bombers finally kind of getting a chance to chuck their ammo into those Bleak Swords. Dark Riders getting to flee off, but they still did quite a bit of damage to their gunnery mobs. So that was not worth its weight. I mean, it definitely did a little bit of damage to these guys and helped crack open this back line for the Dark Elves so they can start like a 2-front offensive here. Shade Wraiths kicking off into these Dread Spears, not doing a whole ton of damage here. Gunnery mobs slowly getting silenced by the remainder of the Dark Shards and the Corsairs with handbows. Wraith shot again, just trickling down, just damage taken away over at Morathi here. And now you can see why Aristodemos was kind of fearful of all those bombers, right? These guys just got into range, got out of the cookie jar, and then are immediately fleeing because of the double impact of those two bombers and Noctilus fighting into them. Man, it's really cool to kind of see these things kicking off. As an American who loves the 4th of July, the bombers are the most patriotic unit in the game next to the Hellstorm rocket battery. Who fucking raw? Yeah, man. This has been a really interesting build for both armies here, right? I think the Dark Elf build is very conventional against Vampire Coast, but I've liked the use of so many bombers. I've liked the use of Shade Wraiths. I haven't seen these guys in quite some time since they were overpowered in the very start of the DLC. So it's been a very, very eclectic mix, and I like how Aristodemos has positioned himself, right? He knew that going through the pipe here was going to be hugely detrimental for himself, so he wrapped around. Oh, shit! Morathi is getting completely punished by Noctilus, by the Terrorgeist. This might be the end of Our Lady. We got an assassin coming in here, trying to do some damage onto Noctilus, trying to like kind of even the odds. If both those assassins can get on Noctilus, it's going to be so bad for him. She's trying to tank through some of this damage using Soul Stealer, it looked like a little bit earlier. All the spells have worn off, and look at that, that Terrorgeist is in bad shape too. So what was looking initially as a really, really terrible engagement for her has now really turned around. They've pushed off the Terrorgeist. Oh, that unit of bomber just completely decimated that Bleak Sword unit. Holy shit. Whew! And the Canine Assassins unfortunately couldn't finish off Noctilus here. Little death streak into them as well. They gotta be pulling this pocket back here, or it's gonna take quite a bit of damage. Now they're finally gonna be able to push up through the other side, now that the bombers are firmly distracted with this other engagement. Let's get a good survey of the battle here. I wish I could just mark on this map. I could just go full John Madden with you guys. Well, he's gonna push into the pocket here and here. He's gonna draw a full-on penis, and I'm gonna eat a KFC in the mid-fight. But you can see here that this fight is really starting to slowly be dwindled away. Bombers are doing some damage. Another engagement from that Terrorgeist, getting those Canine Assassins onto him. Morathi is getting completely slapped around by Noctilus's Crab Claw. That's not a really good situation going on over there. Oh, trying to get some damage into it. Can it happen? Can it happen? It's so close. That death streak is so close to dying. But remember, these guys can do quite a bit of damage in range, right? Missile damage 800, so they can actually kill the Terrorgeist alone, as it's got its little tiny bits of health in it, not like on a one-on-one scenario. But Morathi now getting out of this engagement, putting the Canine Assassins on to Count Noctilus, which is a great move here, kind of screening out that charge, going to have them eat up Noct here. Now, on the other side, we can see that we're pushing up in through the ravine. We've got some damage from the zombie deckhand mobs, that's not too terrible, but all that's really left here are these 2 or 3 total units of firing. These 2 units of bombers still have pretty good ammunition left. And this Shade Wraith is still pumping action down range into Morathi. Oh, Noctilus is not in a good place. He's got the Web of Shadows kicked off on him, trying to get some Arcane Conduits, get some additional healing going off. Morathi, I think, needs to just look at her just shucking and driving, dude, getting those jukes. Aristodemos has got the jukes like Jagger. Man, he is just pumping those legs. Oh, dude, she's just taking it to the face, though. The Shade Wraith is pumping into her. Oh. Well, maybe calm myself down on that, right? Whew. Invocation of Heck kicked off onto Count Noctilus here, though. Starting to finally mop up some of these bombers. There's still plenty of range damage coming in for Aristodemos. This might push into a win here for Aristodemos. The balance of power is still 50-50, it looks like. The bombers just unleashing a payload into these Dread Spears, though. Holy crap. Dude, look at that. Look at that. The whole time just juking and juking while these assassins are going right onto Noctilus. It's a battle of the ages. Can Noctilus be defeated before Morathi falls? Who will know? Next time on Dragon Ball Z. Get a good surveying of the fight here. So again, Morathi's juking through everything. You've got Noctilus and some zombie deckhands with polearms, and there it is. Boom! Death embraces your lord. Noctilus has fallen, and there it is. King of the Dead falls behind Aristodemos. So it is a 1-1 fight. Whew. That was glorious. That was a really fun one. I liked these two builds. They were very, very, very unique, very different. Really, the big things here for Aristodemos' army was a lot of range he had, right? 89, 127, 85, 115 kills. Great on those guys there. They are shooting into zombies, so they have plenty of targets. I think the Scurvy Dogs couldn't get their job done as well as Vampire Coast, as King of the Dead wanted to do. If those Scurvy Dogs had gotten that backline a little bit better, gotten to that cookie jar, they would have performed a lot better for him. But at the same time, he was up against 4 units of spears, so Aristodemos kind of saw that coming in one way or another. The units of Dark Riders were able to get into that back line, kind of start the initial avalanche that was that whole entire oblique shift onto that certain flank to get them the initial initiative into that back line. So that huge play by Aristodemos here, that was a real good one. Let's see what our next one is going on here. Our score is 1-1. We're going into our game 3 of this heat. Set up this stuff here. And it looks like we're going to have Norska versus... Aristodemos needs to use the toilet. I didn't tell him during this competition that you would be able to use the toilet, so immediately disqualified. Your new winner is King of the Dead. Not true. I'm not going to do that to him. Let's see what I missed here. We have some subscription to the channel. Dave Pigeon, funny stuff. Alvac, thanks for joining in, man. Colin, thank you very much for your donation. As always, Colin G. IQ's here. What's up, brother? Black Iron Battles is always here, man, dude. He's just representing. We got the Fatty Lumper. Liam, the Christian. Wicked's up. Turkey sub. Dude, no, so I lost my first, like, 100 pounds. I strictly ate. Here, I'll put this up. I'll put a blocker up. I'll do it. I'll allow it. Put the blocker up for now. Yeah, I got it. Got your photo. I took care of that, brother. Yeah, this is actually my 30,000 sub stream too. I'm gonna do a stream that's aside from this. It's just to celebrate my 30,000 subs. I'll probably do that in the next year or two. All right, my ass is numb. 30,000 turkey subs. Oh. Dude, Fez Walker is here with the vintage Just Hot. A staple of his communication on the channel. Guys, I started watching a Let's Play of... oh, Jesus Christ. A Let's Play of Darkest Dungeon. I've never played that game. I've never fucking played that game. So I bought it because it's $7 on sale right now. And I'm going to start streaming that on Twitch. Just because I find Twitch to be an easier platform for me to just kind of start at will. And use whatever music I want. On YouTube, it's a little more anal retentive. Right, I say, you would have to ask XMT. I do not know. Play some Civ 6? I've always wanted to play a Civ game. Thumbs for the thumb throne. I'm stoked, fat ass, Frodo. It's really weird for me to call you fat ass, so I'm stoked, Frodo. Have you ever played Broforce on stream? No, I haven't. You got the right map up, Liangui. The what the hell's the fucking word? The Cajun map for today. Aiden, you missed the first 2 matches. This is the 3rd of the first heat. Letter Haiku, thanks for joining in, brother. The 5 is better, to be honest. No silly dooms. Yeah, I'm really excited for Darkest Dungeon. Like, every Thursday, I kind of make a point to myself, like, okay, hey, no gaming, no computer, only stuff outside or painting Warhammer. So tomorrow I'll be busy doing that. But I might stream tonight just to kind of get it started. I really want to see that. I mean, I watched the Let's Play. And Let's Play seemed really cool. I like the mechanics of that game. All right, looks like they're readying up, and we're getting ready here for Norska versus the Beastmen. This should be a pretty interesting fight here, right? The fuck did I just do? What army I'm working on? I'm working on my Blood Angels. If you guys want to see here's the progress of my Blood Angels. I keep that progress kind of under wraps. I keep it on my my Patreon. Posts. Just we're waiting for all this to load. Here is the progress of my Blood Angels right now. I got this all set back up. Oh yeah. So, so we've got Norska versus the Beastmen here. Norska has a lot of really great options that they can bring in this scenario. I mean, they have access to they have access to Lord of Death, Lord of Fire, everything. They can really put a lot of punishment into the Beastmen. Just the very same way, Beastmen have a lot of access to a lot of their Centaur units. They have a lot of access to their Minotaur units, which are a little bit harder for the Norskins to crack because you can field a lot of Minotaurs versus, you can field a lot of spears, but you lose a lot of the punch of the Norskan army. But at the same time, Norska does have their large creatures as well. So this will be definitely a fight of the beasts, a battle of the beasts, as it were. Some skin wolves, we'll see maybe some mammoths, who knows. Feral mammoths are a pretty great 800, what are they, 800 points? Oh, I can't see. I think there are 800 some points. And they're a great way to get a lot of destruction into the army for a pretty low point cost. They do have a big leadership issue. You do have to kind of focus around that. But at the same time, Beastmen do have quite a bit of leadership issues across their entire army. The fun thing about them, though, is that they can field so many different things to kind of kit out what they need the most. They've always kind of been in a weird spot in the quote-unquote competitive meta. A really good Beastman player is fucking destructive. But a really good Dark Elf player, it's like... You take a look at the both of them, and they both have a lot of things that can answer one another. I haven't heard of on Tyrion's AOS Elves. I've started getting Marathi's army of them. No, Joe, not yet. Guys, my brother is now joining the stream. Everyone in chat, go ahead and mention, so you type the @ Evan Seckham, and make sure you harass him and say, hello, ItalianSpartacus' brother. He's covered in cocoa butter, and he's heavily emaciated and running off with 3 cups of coffee. Take that, Evan, you son of a bitch. Is DLC for sure coming in April, though? Not that we know, Zach. I don't think we have any idea of when it's coming. Why are you like this? No, my family name is not Seckham. He's not my real brother. Oh, you guys. Oh, don't worry, I got it. So he's my non-surrogate brother. I've got 2 actual brothers. Then his brother, his actual brother, and him are my other brothers. Guys, I'm not... Who's in the stream? Black Iron Battle's in the stream. Is Sotek in the stream? Is anyone else... anyone from the YouTube community, like YouTubers, else in the stream? Because I bought a Getting Started thing for Age of Sigmar, Stormcast Eternals. Fuck. Age of Aquarius. Everyone's my sisters. Okay, so let's take a look at these armies here, right? So, King of the Dead here went with some Norskins, a nice, good line of Marauder Berserkers, which will help eat up all of these fields. King of the Dead has gotten into horticulture just lately. So it'll help him eat up a lot of the front line that they're going to be dealing with Hope he doesn't fuck with me this time. Looks like a lot of he's got the Boots of the Hound here, which do have that great anti-infantry bonus that the rest of the... Oh my god, this is so fucking fast. The rest of these Berserkers have. Now the Boots of the Hound, though, they do have Unbreakable, which makes them really, really great for a low leadership army. Now behind that, they're supported with a nice long line of armored Skin Wolves. Now these guys, of course, they are the anti-large variant of the Skin Wolf. I'm sorry, the armored version of the Skin Wolf. They all are anti-large. Now there we go. Oh my god, dude. The Maws of Savagery are the anti-large AP variant of Skin Wolf, your Regiment Renown version. So they will be able to do quite a bit of damage to any large Minotaur units, anything that's kind of needs that kind of extra armored crack on it, like say a Cygor. Now, Shaman Sorcerer with Death, looks like we're going to be seeing, is that Fate of Buna and Soul Leech? Yeah, Fate of Buna and Spirit Leech. And then we also have Throg Daddy himself. Get a good zoom in on Throg here. My favorite part of Throg is... Throg's Throg. Oh, man. Used to have way more evident nipples. Well, there's Throg here for you. Now, Throg will be a really good choice for any kind of large beast that we deal with in the Beastmen line. Now, as far as the other units, he can still deliver quite a pounding to non-anti-large units, so he can threaten, like, you know, your Dark Omen, your Morgur, and even your Khazrak. And if Khazrak is on a chariot, which is a great choice here in this situation, he can still do quite a bit of damage to him. Why am I breaking your heart, Mads? Ooh, a nice, good front little vanguard of the Beasts of Tashnar. They are your anti-large variant of the Norskan Warhounds. They don't typically have that. I prefer the Norskan Ice Wolves, preferably, but the Beasts of Tashnar are great units, nonetheless. Now, as far as the vanguard we have here of the Beastmen, we have a lot of Centaurs, as to be expected here, right? 1, 2, 3... 4, 5 units of 6 units of Centaurs. Looks like a majority of them all two with throwing axes, 1 with great weapons, and then the rest just standard variation. It looks like. Oh, another throwing axe. Standard. So 3 throwing axes, 3 standard, and then a great weapon variant. The rest of the line here, it looks like we've got a lot of Chaos Warhounds. We've got some Spearmen in the very back, kind of holding and anchoring those lines. We got the Baconators themselves, the Razorgore herds. They do have AP and anti-infantry, well, hidden anti-infantry characteristics. Be able to do quite a bit of damage when they jump up close and personal. The Sons of Goros, the Centaur with great weapons. Khazrak, One Eye. We have a Brave Shaman with Wild, which is, of course, to get, yep, there it is. Let's get the zoom in on what those abilities are. We have the Jagged Dagger, the Traitor Kin, and your Primal Fury here. The Jagged Dagger is going to get you some additional power reserves. So the armies are moving up towards one another here. Inject the strongest Katachi implant. Getting some initial throwing axe play, pushing it into those Skin Wolves that are armored. The rest of this army can really deal with the front line of the Berserkers as far as like doing damage to it. They will take a lot of damage, so really the name of the game here is going to be King of the Dead, using these Centaurs to get good wraps on, get some good contact. I won't consider things kiting until it really becomes kiting. Right now it's just two things kind of trying to meander around one another, so we'll be on the lookout for that. They do have to engage here. These are all vanilla, no mods included here. I don't think I've ever used SFO. I did say Primal Fury. Glad you caught that, Flying Dutchman. So, like we said, Khazrak is on his chariot. We have a Brave Shaman of Shadows and a Brave Shaman of Wild all on chariots, which is a really great play. He's got an Enfeebling Foe, and he's got Melkoths. Melkoth was fighting Miasma as well. So this will help them kind of line up any charges with these chariots. Those 3 alone are going to do quite a bit of damage. So it's really going to be about pushing through this line as fast as you can. Remember, with chariots, you want to make contact, wait a beat, push onto the next unit, push onto the next unit, push onto the next unit. Just some poke going on here. All right, our first engagement into these little spearmen. Fortunately, they are not going to enjoy this. They were not braced. They're getting swarmed. Swarmed by these Skin Wolves. Girls with great weapons coming in here, too, to just do some heavy damage to those Armored Skin Wolves. Now, Armored Skin Wolves, they do have an armor value of 70 here. So they're a little bit heavier than the rest of the majority of the Norskan army, right? Chieftains, I think, kind of rival or at least match their armor. I think, actually, there's 80 or 90. The Sons of Goros here do have that AP characteristic, so they'll be able to do quite a bit of damage. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, Throg found his target. Spirit Leech on Khazrak. Throg is coming in here. Oh, look at that heavy hit! He's at 50% health. He is completely locked up. He's surrounded by spearmen. He's even got his own units he's got to push through. And he is in not good shape right now. Just getting smacked apart. He's got some skin wolves on him too, so they're ready to do some damage as well. But you can see they just be able to squeeze out of that one. Let's take a look at the overarching fight here. You can see the majority of King of the Dead's army is on the sides here, kind of poking in. They do have a lot of throwing axes they can utilize, and Aristodemos is kind of trying to swap those. King of the Dead is Norska. And Aristodemos is pretty much just trying to probe in with the units here and there, getting the big alpha strike with his 3 characters, try to do the most damage, or at least in this part, trying to just get them out of the fight. He's pulled back Khazrak all the way to here for some dodgy situations here. The Razor Gourds were getting eaten up by a lot of the anti-large capabilities of the Skin Wolves. The Skin Wolves are kind of pushing out of this one. They can regenerate here, so that is pretty huge to note. So these guys kind of fleeing away will be able to regenerate and be able to come back with a little bit better situation. Uh-oh, Throg just thromping down on things. Each one of these fucking Hammerfalls is massive. A random secret dog? A street dog. Alright, and we have our Brave Shaman fleeing off. Oh man, he is in terrible shape. Khazrak is not in the right neighborhood. Throg is not happy here. Dave & Buster's is just open, and he's got a $20 coupon that he's going to go wallop on those fucking games with. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Playing whack-a-mole with the Razor Gore chariots. Left and right, dude. You can see that they're really pushing on into this. Aristodemos is really just going for broke here, trying to get some value out of losing really 2 of his characters. And Khazrak is in really bad shape as well. Spirit Leech kicked off onto him. These 2 they're coming in and out of the fight, but really, if Throg can get back onto Khazrak, it is not going to be good. As soon as they pop Khazrak, it'll be just a matter of mopping up at that point. But at the same time, the Skin Wolves are in really bad shape. They do need to kind of pull back a little bit, try and get some regeneration going on themselves. You can see that this fight, there are a lot of throwing axes going down, so they can, just like that, rip up Throg. Enfeebling Flow kicking off on him, reducing his melee defense and melee attack. The tables have turned rapidly. The balance of power is now shifting hugely in Aristodemos' favor as the throwing axes focus down and destroy Throg here. The Master of Trolls just getting skewered with chops with axes straight out of Gordon Ramsay's kitchen. And it looks like the balance power is shifting wildly. Army losses are kicking in, and Aristodemos will be pulling ahead, it looks like, 2-1. Going into the finals against our other competitors, Gundabad and, not Hadries, sorry, Heylow. But we're going to see here. I'm trying to. Gundabad wasn't responding, and I think that we might have to sub him in, unfortunately. All right, so King of the Dead is unfortunately knocked out here. A great play by him. He was really, I mean, King of the Dead had this, right? He was smacking apart. Like, look at the health of all 3 of these characters. Aristodemos did a really good job of pulling one out and screening with the other 2. Pulling another one out and screening with the other 2. He used a lot of really great tactics with the Razor Gore herds to try and keep his characters out of the engagement as much as possible. Still, though, King of the Dead got Throg in there and was able to just beat the brakes off all 3 of those characters. The big turning point, though, is when all 3 of the throwing axe variant Centaurs were freed up to target Throg. They were able to do so much damage. They deleted him so fast. He had pretty much full health. Well, what happened was, the Skin Wolves were no longer a threat to the Centaurs. The biggest threat to those Centaurs were, of course, those Skin Wolves, as I just repeat my fucking self. So, once those Skin Wolves were heavily neutralized, or at least under wraps, the Centaurs with throwing axes could target Throg and just delete him from the game. Like, holy crap. That was hot and wild, guys. Woo! Alright, so let's set up the next game here. I'll go ahead and change some of this action. Let me go ahead and change this to Let me just do some quick stuff here. We're getting our next competitors up and make sure we get them into the game. I think we might have a last minute sub in. Sorry, guys. Let me just kind of see what's going on here. I might have to change up some stuff here, so let's do... I don't want to leave you guys hanging like this, but let me go to the bracket. So let's come back to this. Hey, Jean-Claude, what are you doing here? You're not supposed to be here, you dirty goose. There we go. So we'll kind of figure out what's going on here with our competitors real quick. It looks like Gundabad is not responding, so we're going to get a last-minute sub in. See if Hadries is available, and we'll put him into the game. Sorry for the delay here, guys. Just give me 2 seconds. I'm free to answer questions, though, in the meantime. We'll swap this out. Hey, Kezi, thanks very much for your donation, man. When's the next Primarch video series? I'm trying to get it out by Saturday, and it should be for Sanguinius. Sanguinius would be joining brother. Where do I buy my shirts? Fucking Target, mate. Make the dome so shiny. Oh, aloe vera, my brother. Play Age of Sigmar. I already bought an army, guys. Am I wearing pants right now? Does it matter? We need to find you a lotion that gives you a matte finish. Evan, we need to find you a lotion that fucks yourself. Yeah, man, turn your brightness down. That's why you need glasses. Guys, so Evan, my brother, during Christmas, he was just groping around the house looking for his like fucking glasses, but instead he grabbed everyone's boobs. And everyone that has boobs is married. So it's just disgusting that Evan just walks around for Christmas grabbing tits. All right, finished that. Did that. Your family parties sound wild. Yeah, real hog wild. Let's see here. Dude, he followed this shit out of my boobs. Latest rage, right? I searched these hashtag #MeToo hashtags, and it's all anyone talks about. I just want to be current, guys. Find the word boob? No, I'll define the word boobs, which is multiple. A singular sentient boob is the most terrifying thing I think of. Yeah, I think we're gonna need to unfortunately find a sub in. It might even be someone else. Actually, Misha, yeah, it usually does. So we can see from our bracket here that we're our first heat has been finished. Aristodemos pulls out ahead of King of the Dead. Our next match, our next heat will be Heylow from the Extreme Meme team versus an unnamed competitor right now. It might be Hadries, or looking to. He said he'd be willing to sub in from anyone. Waiting to hear back from him, but I do have some other people on deck I can kind of pull in here real quick. So I apologize for this, guys. Oh, cool. Hadries is in. Let's go ahead. This game. Remember when I didn't start it as the host? Battles. Multiplayer battle. Turn said he'd play for sure. Hey, what's up, Lord Phoenix? How you doing, man? Let's go ahead and change this to Hadries. There we go there. Still fucking just piping hot. All right, so we got Hadries joining in here, and we should be good to go. Heylow will be starting off as the Warriors of Chaos. We'll see what Hadries will be choosing. Unfortunately, he's kind of being pulled in the last minute here, so he doesn't really have a lot of time to talk his comps through with his opponent. The way we're doing this here is kind of a gentleman's pick. We've done blind picks in the past, but unfortunately the big thing with blind picks is that when you do a blind pick, it can really be like a hit or miss. It's not really like the measure of two opponents' skill. It just becomes like, okay, did I get lucky enough that as a counter, I chose something that was a counter pick, or did I get unlucky enough that the opponent landed with a heavy counter pick to me? So this allows for opponent to pick two factions that they can really thrive at against each other. In the finals, we'll be doing bans and such like that. Maps are Leitziger, Warpstone Mine, and Yongui. Yeah, Liam, the warp gate won't fall. I put something over here. Okay, so Joe Woodland, I have to read the rules for Age of Sigmar, but here, sorry guys, let me. There's buttons here. There we go. All right, sorry about that. So, Halo's going to be playing the Warriors of Chaos. We'll see what Hadri's going to be choosing. But okay, for Age of Sigmar, I have to kind of read what the rules are for their colors, right? You can't just choose any fucking color you want. Like, you know, with like Space Marines, you can really kind of go hog wild. You can go, all right, well, I'm painting these guys with Blood Angel Successor Chapter, but or I'm playing these guys like the basically Blood Angels colors, but they're a successor chapter of the Ultramarines. You can say that. You don't need to play Blood Angels. But what I understand with Age of Sigmar and the Stormcast Eternals, if I paint Heldenhammer, they're not Helden. They're not. I can't say that they're a different Storm or Warp or Warstone, War Scroll or something like that. I don't remember what it's called. Oh man, I was Strasvucia. Now you leave me. Goodbye. Have a good day. From what I understand though, it's like if you choose, again, if I paint my Stormcast Eternals Heldenhammer, which is basically Black Legion, black and gold, then and I want to use them like Stormcast or Hammers of Sigmar, which is their typical goldish bronze blue, then you can't. Like I think you're locked into it. I have to really look at the rules and see how you do it. Does it really not matter? Like I heard like that's like bullshit. It does, doesn't it, Flying Dutchman? I found that out like 2 days ago. I was like, what? Yeah, I know most other armies can. I don't know. I think like that doesn't seem very Games Workshop-y to like force people to paint a certain way. Like, say what you want about Games Workshop's ridiculous pricing. They've always been like, yeah, play and paint how you want. So that I found that really kind of weird and restrictive. I totally agree with you, Garland. Guys, as always, like I was saying earlier, I will be streaming Darkest Dungeon on my Twitch. You can find my Twitch, same name as myself right now, ItalianSpartacus. Go ahead and give it a look. So follow me on Twitch. I'm going to start streaming Darkest Dungeon on Twitch exclusively. Because I'm just going to, like I said, I'm going to play that game like later at night. I'll come from the gym. I'm not going to use a face cam. I might put on music. Just super, super casual. And if I put music on YouTube, there's a chance I could get a copyright strike, and I don't want to deal with that. With Twitch, they just mute it. Who's Heylow? Oh, he's from the XMT. You might never have heard the XMT, Wicked. Stands for Extreme Meme Team. You wouldn't get it. If you guys want to help me here, we'll do this in the meantime. They're just getting they're getting all set up here. Guys, I apologize for the wait here. I'll give you something to occupy your time. You can help me out. Do this. 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 We'll do a quick poll here while we wait for them. Yeah, it looks like we're doing Dark Elves versus Chaos, so it should be pretty cool. New post. All right. So. All right, Luke Phoenix, have a good one, dude. So here's the take, guys. Go ahead and click this link. Those are the 4 options I'm choosing for my Age of Sigmar army. Now, I'm going to finish painting my Blood Angels first, so don't worry. I'm not going to abandon them. So here is what we're going to do. Where is poll? Which army scheme should I paint? So those are numbered 1, 2, 3, and 4. I've started a poll. Go ahead and vote in that poll using that Imager link as a reference point to which paint we should go for. The big thing I chose Stormcast Eternals for is that I could basically undercoat them black and then cover them with gold paint, and they'll be fucking done. To vote, you want to type in exclamation point vote 0, 1, 2, or 3. I'm very statuesque. I don't move. Everything moves around me. Actually, I don't need this on. Forgot. I don't get to see their armies unless I click them. Yeah, guys, vote away. You'd be helping me out. I basically kind of looked at it as like, okay, 1 and 2 are the easiest to paint. 3 is the hardest, but I think the coolest, and 4 is a happy medium between the two. I'm not wearing hockey pads. All right, so we should be kicking off our second heat here. Definitely pick the third if it's the hardest. Mamidia wills it. I kind of like number 1 because it's like pretty easy, but pretty different. Okay. But we are up and running. Let's take a look at our action. Yeah, I love purple. It's my favorite color. How about DOK, Daughters of Cain? All right, so let's take a look at what we got here. So Heylow has gone with Warriors of Chaos, and we have had Hadries with the Dark Elves. Now, taking a look at Heylow's army, a nice, good line of... we'll let them set up a little bit more. It's always a pain in the ass to talk about stuff while it's not set up. He's gone with a nice Vanguard out here of Marauder Horsemen. These guys will be great here just to get some really good some very good fast cav skirmisher play here. I mean, these are the only missile cav you have access to, or the only missiles you have access to outside of the Hell Cannon for the Warriors of Chaos, and they do a great job. The Horsemasters especially here, they have a little bit better leadership, a little bit better armor, especially at 50 armor, but they can threaten quite a bit of the range units here. But this is my favorite. An overlapping... Oh, this is just going to be... I'm going to start the camera here after I tell them to go. But it looks like we've got Slaanesha's Harvesters. Yeah, Slaanesha's Harvesters. They're going to start right on top of these Marauder Horsemen, and it's going to be destructive. You have 3 units over there. You have nothing over here. Now, taking a look at the front of this line here, we've got some Chaos Warhounds with Poison intermixed in, with some Marauders as well. Just kind of eat up that initial chaff. Sarthoriel, the Doom Master, the Doom Pigeon himself here. Look at that, tentacles and testicles all over the place. It looks like he's going to be having just Final Transmutation. That's his only spell he's got going on for him. So he's going to be able to look into kind of capitalize on that. Now he's got 2 units of... 3 units? 4 units? 3 units of Chaos Warriors with great weapons, and then 2 units of Chaos Knights. So this is a nice bulky army from Heylow. Now, as far as Hadri's army here, we have a nice front line of some Dread Spears mixed in with 2 units of Bleak Swords. Just immediate cotton candy being flung. Like, get the fuck out of my cotton candy. Oh, look at it. Now, remember here, these guys do have a resistance to physical damage, but they're in a really bad situation. They're going to get caught out. They already have, not Marathi, they already have Malekith on him. They already have the Coldwood Knights on him. So they're going to be able to delete those Slaanesha's Harvester. I'm sorry, not the Slaanesha's Harvester. God damn, my brain's crap right now. All 3 of these units were able to delete these Marauder Horsemasters, and they're going to push down into this. Now, it is forcing these Chaos Knights and those Chaos Warhounds to come relieve their beleaguered bros, but we'll see how that kind of pans out in the forest over here. As far as the rest of army, it is moving forward. We have 2 units of Dark Riders Repeater Crossbows. We have Sisters of the Singing Doom, and we have a unit of Coldwood Knights as well to kind of piggyback off of one another. Oh, yeah, look at this. Witch Elves coming right into there. Oh, jumping in on that ass. Haven't you ever been in a fucking restaurant where they throw pancakes at you to leave? You've never been kicked out of an IHOP, Ninja Hun. Get your fucking priorities straight. Word of pain kicking off here across these Chaos Warriors. Look what this does. Minus 44 to attack and accuracy here, so they're not going to be able to do nearly any damage here to these Dark Riders. It's going to take them a long time to actually hit. Their accuracy is down, their melee attack is down, which are likelihood to hit. So this is a great way to kind of get a unit that has a poor engagement out of the fight without losing a ton of units here. Sartoriel is just crushing things with his staff, going all over the place with some of these Marauders, with some of these Horse Masters. You can see this unit of Bleak Swords is starting to buckle under the weight of these Great Swords quite quickly here. Now look at this. These Marauders not standing up to these Witch Elves as to be expected here. Those Bleak Swords getting eaten up by those Great Swords. And these Witch Elves have triggered the Rampage on these Chaos Knights, which is great. They can do some additional damage to them. But the Chaos Warhounds with Poison have pushed into the back line of these Dark Riders here. And you have the Cold One Knights trying to mitigate that charge. Really, though, the Chaos has got a lot still moving for it, right? You've got these two huge stacks kind of moving into this, kind of wrap up around here and do some quite a bit of damage. Yep, I said... Did I say great swords? I would say great axes, great weapons. Yeah, no. Ninja Hunt is a friend. So, great weapons charging into the rear of these Witch Elves. You got another charge coming in of these Marauders. More coming down. Sartoriel's all hot and heavy. Really, the Slash's Halversers are just being picked off one at a time here. That poor engagement in the beginning with the Horsemasters actually ended up panning out pretty well for that left flank. But they don't have as much missile fire as they did at the beginning of the game, quite obviously, right? One unit's all the way off. This one's kind of low in ammunition, so... Alright, Malekith right into the Doom Lord. That family bucket is not going to come for free, though, as Malekith goes swatting at the Pigeon Master. Trying to get some damage in here, kind of just turn the tables a little bit. The most of the infantry fight has been lost for the Dark Elves. Looks like he's dropping a Soul Stealer to try and tank some damage here. Yep, Soul Stealer kicking off, trying to get some heals into Malekith here as he does a little bit more continuous damage to Sartoriel. He's got a nice little debuff onto these Chaos Warriors, trying to get some damage into them with the Dark Riders here. Whoa! Chaos Knights jumping onto this fray as well, trying to keep Malekith on the ground. Make sure they can keep as much damage on him as possible. A Final Transmutation should be kicking off on him any time now, or if it hasn't already. Alright, kind of getting a better pan out of the fight here. We have these Cold One Knights jumping in here to help out. They're going to do quite a bit of damage to those Chaos Knights, which have moved on, but they can't push onto them. Now, the Sisters of Singing Dome are a great choice here, because they can pretty much, quote-unquote, buckle down or tank any of these things by triggering a Rampage right there on Sartoriel. He can no longer get out of this fight. He has to stay there until it's broken. So, it kind of forces Heylow's hand in that he has to bring other things into this engagement to kind of mitigate what's going on with the Pigeon Master himself. I mean, that bucket is going at a discounted rate. It's a KFC bucket, a family bucket, for Super Bowl, going at $9.99. Chaos Knights being kind of rode off here by the Dark Riders, keeping them off the board by using these Dark Riders to chase them out 100%, and some Witch Elves left to kind of come in and help out. Now the Chaos Warriors over on this end have already gotten poisoned by the Witch Elves, and they're kind of stuck fighting off with these big swords. But, is that your posse, the Sisters of the Singing Dome? Hell yeah, it is. Malekith getting up there, roasting some Chaos Warriors. Ooh. And we have Sartoriel, who's gotten free, but now is re-rampaged by these Singing Domestresses. And Malekith is coming in here, hungry for some more chicken legs. Give me that drumstick. It's a 2-piece, 3-piece, where I get an extra biscuit that I'm going to put up my own ass. What's wrong with me? And the balance of power has shifted quite heavily in the favor of Hadri's here, as Heylow kind of struggles to kind of maintain any kind of, I guess you could say, keep his head above water? Maintain his head above water. There we go. You need a hot dog, mate. Dude, I wish I had a... Pharaoh, don't talk about hot dogs, you son of a bitch. Alright. Looks like Sartoriel's trying to get out of this fight. Any kind of damage here, army losses have pretty much kicked in for the rest of their army, and it's just a matter of getting rid of this unbreakable pigeon. Look at that. And the first one goes to Hadri's. I mean, that first initial engagement where he was able to push Malekith, a unit of Cold One Knights, and the Slaanesh Harvesters into his entire firing line. Look at this. Completely negated that entire unit of Horsemasters right out the gate. The other two spent a lot of their time running away from that initial engagement, that initial push. Even some of the Chaos Knights that were sent over to help out got shut down, including that unit of Chaos Warhounds. So he had to dedicate so many units to that quick engagement that I don't think Heylow was even planning on. And because of that, I think that kind of threw off his entire flank. But he did have some really good engagements, right? These great weapons, not swords, were able to dish out quite a bit of damage. I mean, 69, oh, brother, and 91 kills is not an insignificant amount to a Dark Elf army, which, you know, they aren't zombies, so they do have quite a bit of a, they don't have a very high unit count and very low cost units. They do really kind of, those numbers do hurt them. So, a great first game here to Hadries. Go ahead and update this scoreboard here. Okay. Right score. Hadries 1. Such a Chad. You guys don't know what Chads are. You guys are like, oh, that guy's a Chad. That guy's a real Charles. I live in like a town of nothing but Chads. The amount of Xanders and Bradens that live around me is disgusting. I look out this window and I see 3 lifted trucks. Y'all don't know what the fuck a Chad is. Warpstone mine. Dude, I would suck down 5 hot dogs in front of everyone right now. I don't give a fuck. So that used to be Turn's thing. Like when he was in college. So we went to college our freshman year. Then he went away to a different college up the way, like a town up. Unit sizes on Ultra? Jesus Christ, Pharaoh. And he would always be like, yeah, dude, my room just stinks of hot dogs right now. Like, holy shit. Went to a diesel school. Chads were everywhere. Dude, the Chads were had. So it looks like Heylow's going to be switching on over to the Vampire Coast. And Hadries is going to be playing the Greenskins. Let's see what happens here. Is Hadries going to pull out a 2-0 and push into the finals as a kind of like mystery Iron Chair from the stands wrestler, or is it going to go to a game 3 here against Heylow? So we'll find out here as these two square off in this next match on the Warpstone Mine. Definitely a hard game for Greenskin, as Pharaoh Board just mentioned.
I have only begun.
Wait, they're on Ultra? I don't see them on Ultra. Funds. Hey, who donated? Colin, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it, brother. I thought you could set that on this, though, too. Mine shouldn't be set to Ultra. They should be set to Large. I'll check. Are you guys saying that one of the players has theirs set to Ultra? I'm confused. Alright, I'll do it during the, so you guys want me to do it during the, mine shouldn't be on Ultra. Does it matter? Don't we like Ultra? Oh, well then. Oh, if it doesn't matter, then fuck it, guys. More fucking fights is more fucking fights. I'll fix it in the next match, so we have it for the finals, though. Let me ask the competitors. If they want me to rehost, I don't mind. I just don't want to interrupt the flow too much like it already has. I don't play on Ultra. That's why I'm like, nah, it shouldn't be Ultra. You redo the entire thing, Ninja Hunt? Think that'd be best? Good thing you're there and I'm here. That sounded like some salt. Don't you dare, Ninja Hun. Don't you fucking dare. Well, thanks for stopping in, Colin G. Might have been one of Andy and I were testing out some mods, and that might have switched it over. You know anything on Warpfire Dragons? That's probably from the Monstrous Arcanum. I don't know a whole ton about. Monstrous Arcanum came out at the end of 7th, beginning of 8th edition Warhammer Fantasy, and that was right when I came back into the game. I remember picking up the Island of Blood box set for the High Elves, and going, "Oh, what's this? Oh, this is a Monstrous Arcanum." Like, the Monstrous fucking what? Yeah, I can't even take a look at it in here. Let's take a look. I'll be able to tell by looking at it. Yeah, I guess it is. All right, well, we'll fix it next round. I apologize about that, guys. So we'll see what Heylow's build is after this. We'll see what our greenskin build is going to be. But I saw some bombs, so I think we're going to see a repeat of some bomber action here. Oh, guys, look at this. 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 Queen Bessie. A true hero of the people. Heylow brings in Queen Bessie. Oddly enough, I can't zoom in anymore. Weird. Alright, so I think we're a little bit more set up here. So, a lot of Savage Orcs over on Hadri's side of the board, which is really great play. They're going to be able to eat through a lot of the units. I mean, they do have their frenzy character. Ooh, okay. Their frenzy characteristics. And they just go right through typical, or your standard variant of just infantry. Now, they do have physical resistance from their war paint, so a nice 25% physical resistance is going to be pretty huge for them. On top of that here, we're going to see some Savage Orc Archer Aror boys in the back supporting this unit of Rusty Errors. Now, the reason you go with Savage Orc Aror boys is because these guys are actually very good in combat. So if anything gets summoned up alongside them, they can fight them just pretty succinctly and get them out of the way. So when you summon up any zombie deckhand mobs, they can just beat the brakes off those things. Taking a look at it, you know, they've got 24 melee attack compared to the 28 melee attack of their melee variant. So you can see that there's not that much of a difference here. And then you've got some nice big brutal black orcs here, just the Metallica, just fucking death metal masters of the greenskins. Sorry, I can't zoom in anymore. That's frustrating. Then we also have Azag the Slaughterer here. Azag went with, of course, Spirit Leech. He's got his Foe Seeker, he's got his Wah ability, and then he's got Get On With It. Another another buff to have leadership. Then we also have a little tiny Night Goblin Shaman, and that's just going to have the Vindictive Glare, which actually does a ton of damage if you make it land. It is pretty hard to hit, especially at range, so you do have to be a little worrisome about that. Then we're going to see a lot of skirmishers with the Forest Goblin Spiders throughout the map here. We have Deep Strike over there. We have one right here. We have Deep Strike. Jesus, man, what is wrong with me today? They're kind of spread all around the map. Now we also have a little Vanguard placement of Night Goblins. Remember, these guys they do have stock, so they'll be starting concealed from their opponent. Yes, Chrome, there is a bracket. I'll show it to you right now. So before we jump into these Vampire Coasts, we're just going to show that bracket here real quick. We are in our second heat, Heylow versus Hadri's here. After this match, right now, Hadri's is up 1. If Hadri's takes this one home, we'll be seeing our final heat with Aristodemos versus whoever wins this one here today. Let's go back at it. So the Frack Coast, the Vampire Coast here. Zombie Pirate Deckhand Mob across the whole front line here with the Styles of Skjold. Then we have a nice back line in a nice onion, almost dwarf-esque formation with the Zombie Pirate Gunnery Mobs with Bombers. These guys are going to do a ton of damage, especially to the morale of the Greenskin, supported again by a firing line of the Black Spot and 2 Gunnery Mobs with handguns. In addition to that, they are supported with Deckhand Mobs with polearms intermixed between them. And then in the back, we have Queen Bessie herself, ready to delve out some damage with some sweet tea on the Vanda. Count Noctilus on foot here, able to do some fun stuff. Do it. Able to do some fun stuff here. He's got his dial, he's got his summon, he's got his invocation and a hex. The typical kind of standard we see for Count Noctilus. Logan, his last one was a very close one, that's for sure, man. Let's see how this goes here. There's this little deployment of Night Goblins, which is really good on Hadri's part here. I don't think he expected this kind of level of, like, quote-unquote quarter camping. Well, it's not really corner, it's just using it to their advantage. But look at this, an early push in from these Forest Goblin Night Goblin Riders. Forest Goblin Riders right in onto Queen Bess. Initially taking out that cannon right from the start, and it looks like he was actually in manual aiming there, so I don't think he saw this coming at all. These zombie deckhand mobs are completely idle, and Queen Bess's initial shots into these Savage Orcs, for the most part, haven't done much damage. They do damage the... Oh no, I spoke too soon. So Queen Bess, as that does, when her shots land, they do persistent damage to anything in the aura. The mortar teams were doing some damage there as well. But finally, you're going to see the zombie deckhand mobs push through. The Queen Bess's crew is still in good working shape, so if he can pull them out of that, he can still salvage this situation. But we have an engagement already in the way here from the Ties of Skjold against these Night Goblins, making their way up the front of the line here. This is a great initial play by Hadri's. Get some pressure onto this army. The bombers already ripping into these Savage Orcs over here, or Night Goblins over here. You can see the kind of damage they're doing. They don't care about the damage that they're doing to their own guys, but Azog is not going to take that. He just jumps in, getting shot up by some handgunners at the same time. He is in a pretty compromising situation, but he's going to be supported by his Forest Goblin Spider Riders as well. Now, pushing in through the rest of the Greenskin army, it's going to push through this hill like a green tide. The only things that are in its way are 2 units of zombie deckhand mobs, and the stuff that would really contest it, for the most part, is in really bad shape right now. I keep seeing the light out of the corner of my eye. So mortar is still fine. We have 2 mortars. I'm sorry about that, guys. Missed that one. Queen Bess is back online. Forest Goblins have been put down. We have these bombers just ripping up those Savage Orcs on the back there. We have plenty of archers going into the bombers in exchange. Queen Bess firing back into these Savage Orc Auror boys. So there's a lot of exchange of firepower going on here. But they are mopping up those bombers as fast as possible. It's going to allow them to get in that back line, that juicy back line, as fast as possible. Forest Goblin Riders are starting to really get picked off here as they get now caught up in their charges and get really focused down by the handgunners and everything. Azog is back here. I think he fled away for a little bit. I didn't get to follow it. Yeah, he took quite a bit of damage, I bet, and had to flee for a little bit. So, but he's back in the fight. As you can see here, things are just ripping off. Queen Bess is shooting. Mortars are shooting. I didn't see any gunnery whites, which probably would have been a good call here. Uh-oh, Queen Bess has got a payload coming. Oh, look at that devastating shot there. into these archers. Mortars do great damage to archers because they have really good splash damage. They'll do way more to any kind of concerted line like that. Queen Bess is finally starting to turn her cannon about. Night Goblin Shaman here, just trying to eat up some of these deckhand mobs. Noctilus is not in a good position though, because oh, there it is. I was gonna say these Night Goblin archers are gonna have free reign on him, but they are just now being locked up by a summon. Ooh, shots raining down here. A rain of fire. Really still got one whole unit, two whole units of bombers that can do quite a bit of damage, but there's plenty of range damage that can be shot their way. Azag is having a little bit of trouble as well here. He keeps going in and out of combat because he keeps having situations come and go for him. There's quite a bit of range firepower from these handgunners. But those Night Goblins staying in there, keeping them locked up, is helping to kind of solidify the air game for Azag here. I think the big play is getting Azag just directly into that mortar. Get all up into that back line. There's nothing else that can contest him at this point. He needs to get as much stuff downrange as possible now. He's got, for the most part, his Black Orcs have won this fight. There's just some zombie deckhand mobs. He's really just has, as soon as he clears up these bombers, Hadri's might be able to pull this one off pretty quickly. But Count Noctilus is in great shape, and really he needs to get put down quickly. As is the rule with all vampire factions, same thing with the Tomb Kings, getting rid of their lord is huge for them. Noctilus is just running hog wild here. Azag, though, going all the way in the back. Looks like he's going directly for Queen Bessie. Bess's payload is being dropped off. Where is it going to land? We're going to find out here. Probably, that's a juicy target. Oh, man. Bessie did a ton of damage to that one unit of Black Orcs that was in pretty good health. And another one to this one. Man, that's a ton. Just trying to get any kind of damage that they can to the back line. Azag is pushed off from Bessie and is pushing now over into the zombie pirate gunnery mobs. Some range fire into them as well. Trying to get those forest goblins in there, into that back line that they've kind of come back from fleeing. Count Noctilus, though, is just this hero of the ages, right? He's standing in the thick of it, just summoning up his own army around him. He's gone into that fight completely alone. And that's a pretty cool thing right there, right? Like Heylow knows the capabilities of Noctilus enough that he can throw him in alone and summon up an army around him. I mean, personally, I would be too scared to do that. Azog, though, all the way over here, trying to just shut down Queen Bessie. He does have a Spirit Leech on it, trying to do whatever kind of damage he can. He is surrounded by this unit of pole arms, which is going to do quite a bit of damage for him, so he's got to pull out of there quickly. Azag he can regenerate. Can't he? No, I lied. Uh-oh! Army losses kicking in for the Greenskins here as Heylow pulls ahead. And it was actually looking pretty strong for Hadri's. I thought that he was actually going to pull it off, but those bombers can just do so much damage. And on top of that, you can just have such a constant line with the Noctilus's ability to get two summons off at once effectively. Woo! Let's jump on over and change that scoreboard here. Elves End Times War video? Joe, whenever I want, man. Woo! So it looks like we're going to switch to High Elves versus Tomb Kings in our third round here. Hadri's, I thought, was going to be able to pull that one out. He doth not. And it's Hadri's versus Heylow in a 1-to-1 in the last one here. Let me get Liangwe. All right, guys. Make sure I got everyone on deck. Padawi Dojo? Is that a thing? You know, Jens, this is the second game I've seen them in, and with very similar builds, right? Very chaffy front lines, a lot of bombers supported by a lot of pole arms, and then not even like a good beefy backline. There were no good targets as far as strong melee combatants go for the Vampire Coast. Adries didn't bring, Heylow didn't bring a bunch of Depth Guard. He didn't bring a bunch of Mourngulls. He didn't bring a bunch of Crustaceans. He brought pretty much all zombies and then some zombie gunners and then some zombie cannons. So I kind of like that build. It's a bit different. It makes it a little bit harder to focus anything down, because what do you do when you're playing Total War Warhammer? You kind of focus on the things that are your bigger threats. And sure, the bombers are huge threats, but there's 5 or 6 of them, right? Yeah, guys, okay, so like Luis just brought up, Darkest Dungeon 2 teaser was released. We don't know when that's coming out, right? So I'm gonna play Darkest Dungeon for the first time, and I'm stoked on it. I'm fucking stoked. You can make your sexy characters then feel sad when they die. The early access is 2019. Liam, I'm glad you're enjoying it, dude. So I actually I'm really down with. So I've been playing Dead Cells. I got Dead Cells for my birthday or for Christmas, and fuck, that game is so fun. Like, I love Soulsborne games. Dead Cells is great. Like, I really like punishing games like that. In fact, I find that if they're not like that, I get really bored really fast. Like, I played Neo when it came out. That game was so good. Like, I love those games. Is consistency a tragedy when people die? Have you played Hollow Knight? I haven't. I've heard it's really good, though. Not try Sultan Sanctuary. Thanks, I hate puns. I'm not that sadistic. Damn, okay, so I had seen when it came out, it had a lot of hype behind it. I didn't realize it was that fun. I watched, so last time I passed out. And Seawolf's right, guys, make sure you're liking the stream. I did play XCOM. I like XCOM, and I like, I have Mordheim. I haven't played Mordheim. I like XCOM and Mechanicus. For some reason, those games just don't lock me in as much. The narrative is kind of weak in them, so it's hard for me to really just jump into it, and there's not a crazy good atmosphere of everything. But yeah, I fell asleep last night watching a Let's Play of it, and I was like, this is fucking good. And what's APS, Ninja Hun, my brother? Not play Phantom Doctrine. I remember when I played Mordheim like at a Games Workshop store, and I was sold on it. I bought the box and everything. Like, I was like, fucking yeah. And I've played like maybe 4 games of it. All right. Oh, let's see what we're doing here. Have I played Bloodborne? Holy shit. You can't see it. There's a picture over there. Over there. It's a picture of Bloodborne. That's probably one of my favorite games of all time. APS is an automated power supply, but what I meant was Age of Sigmar. I don't know, man. I really want them. They're supposed to be getting Tyrion's like sun elves, dude. Like elves with fucking bird wings. And I mean, I play Blood Angels, and that's Space Marines with bird wings. So that's cool. All right, guys, we're at our last one of the second heat here. My bros, the High Elves. That's my vote for. I mean, who's playing the High Elves? Hadris or Heylow? Heylow is. Yeah, Halo's playing the High Elves. My vote's for the High Elves because I want to see High Elves. They're my favorite fucking faction, as you guys know. Versus the Tomb Kings, the Boner Boys themselves. Hadri's under the wheel of them. Let's see what we have for the High Elves. So to start off with, Halo went with 2 Eagle Claw Bolt Throwers, which is actually a pretty good use here. You can have them focus down large targets by switching over to their anti-large, or you can have them go in the anti-infantry format and actually do quite a bit of damage. Point of fact on that is you can actually switch them to anti-large and still do a considerable amount of damage to armored units with them, which is a very interesting kind of way to use them, very different. Now, in addition to that, we have 3-4 units of White Lions. A lot of people used to really hate on White Lions, but this is one of White Lions' best matchups. This, Chaos and Dwarfs, they really thrive here. It's 800 points. They've got really good solid armor, and in addition to that, they do AP damage. They're really, really strong in this matchup. Now, he has the Pure Main Company, which is a company from the end times here. The Regiment... I got my zoom back. Regiment Renown variation of the White Lions of Trace. The Pure Main Company were the guys who followed Tyrion when the whole Eternity King Tyrion Civil War happened. Now, these guys here, they are going to be able to do Sunder Armor with their attacks, which is really nice in addition to their already massive AP. In addition to that, though, they do have the Guardian passive, which is going to give good 18% physical resistance to them. Why are you talking like that, Sotek? I miss you too. So we've got 2 units of Spearmen. Oh, 3 units total of Eagle Claw Bolt Throwers. So 1 unit of Spearmen here. Oh, Jesus. 1 unit on the flanks, and then a unit of Silver Helms to back them up with Alariel the Radiant. Alariel has gone probably with her typical kit. Yep. Star of Aberlorn, Earthblood, and Foz Protection here. Now, in addition to that, we also see our lovely Star Dragon, the oldest of the old. All right, I'm going to tell them to go while I'll talk about the Tomb Kings. Now, interestingly enough, the Screaming Skull Catapult by Hadris is in this army. He does have to be careful, though, because those Eagle Claw Bolt Throwers will eat this thing up. If they target this, they'll be able to pop it so fast. Oh, I saw a Vanguard deployment all the way back here. So we have some Vultures in the way back. Carrion's going hog wild and that backline trying to get into any one of these objects. He does have has a deployment here. Interestingly enough, Halo went with a very, very kind of staggered... Oh, okay, no, he's shifting everything into the forest. I was going to say he only has these units over here. That's pretty interesting. But we have Carrion out on the side here, followed by some Nehekar and Horsemen to support them. Then another unit of Nehekar and Horsemen, another unit of Nehekar and Horsemen, followed by a front-ish line, or at least some sort of a battle line, with King Nakesh's Scorpion Legion, a supporting unit of Tomb Guards with halberds, then 2 units of Great Bows, Ushabti variant, of course, and then another unit of Nehekar and Horsemen, followed by another Screaming Catapult. So this is going to be a very interesting artillery fight. And Arc in the Black. So, let's see how this goes, guys. I'm going to actually press the button I almost never press. So you can see how like spread out these armies are. Tomb Kings already have a really good board presence here. They have a lot of firepower coming this direction and a lot of firepower coming this direction. But like I said, those High Elves, they can really pop these things quickly if they switch to anti-large and just go right for them. Their bolts will completely destroy these in 2 or 3 volleys. Oof, this one already took 2. Oh, I thought that was just going to pop that thing. Screaming Skull Catapult is trying to return fire into the Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower, which isn't really a great choice. The Ballista are great at knocking down individual artillery pieces, as you can see here. Even if they miss, they're knocking out the crewmen. So they're doing quite a bit of damage here. The Carrion already jumping into the back line, getting up onto these Eagle Claw Bolt Throwers here. It's got to push those Spearmen or that Dragon on top of it, but the Carrion got out just in time. Now, these Nehekar and Horsemen are going to have a field day. There's not enough staying power to really... look at that. Pointy helms going everywhere. to really contest these guys. Those spearmen have to stay on top of those Eagle Claw bolt throwers, or else they're just going to really lose all their oh shit, all their value. I do not Ninja Hunt, unfortunately. So Silverhelm's pushing into these carrions that have swooped on from the left side, trying to support these Nekarn horsemen. Keep in mind here that Silverhelms are not anti-large. So they don't... Oh, man! Shooting Skull Catapult is now going to be doing way more damage because its Spearman unit has moved in front of the Eagle Claw Bolt Throwers. And the Eagle Claw Bolt Throwers have almost completely finished off this single unit. And this one is down to 3 of its 4. So you can see that these Eagle Claw Bolt Throwers, once they finish that, they'll be uncontested. And as soon as that happens, it's going to be just a matter of getting these horsemen into the line to do as much damage as possible. A rear charge into those Eagle Claw Bolt Throwers, smashing and sending the crews flying, effectively shutting down one entire bolt thrower here. I spoke too soon. This one's down to its last individual bolt thrower here, but it looks like it's... No, it's completely gone now. Alright, so we can take a look. There is still quite a bit of high elf infantry in great fighting shape. The big thing here is that now these Silverhelms can kind of run amok everywhere. Uh-oh. Spirit Leech on them, do some additional damage. That's a good target for them. You can see they're already pretty low. They're not going to want to charge into that too well. And they do it anyway. Take it. Granted, those halberds were not braced, so they were able to get some initial picks, but they're going to get torn up by those Ushabti with great bows. And Spearman unit as well. They're in a pretty dangerous wrap-up between 2 units of halberds and a supporting unit of skeleton warriors. We can see now that this one unit of Tomb Guard with halberds is going to have a lot of fun fighting that unit of White Lions with Trace, as the Carrions kind of finish off another entire Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower. Only one remains with 2 units of with 2 individual, or one now. One Screaming Skull Catapult is left in the game. So Carrions looking to try and get that last one out of the fight. Silverhelms, unfortunately, losing out on this engagement pretty heavily. Trying to get a breath attack in from this Star Dragon, it looks like. Any good raking shot should do quite a bit of damage here. Uh-oh. Nekarn Horsemen charging headlong at these White Lions. Heylow's doing a really good job of kind of maintaining and dealing with the multiple charges into his back line. I mean, oof, not braced. Those spearmen go flying, and they are going to be able to finish up that carrion, but this Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower is still just barely clinging on. If they can deal with this unit of horsemen, I think that Heylow could just landslide this entire fight. For the most part, all that's left is 3 units of Tomb Guards with halberds and 2 units of Ushabti with great bows. But this dragon trying to get some initial picks here, trying to eat up some of these Ushabti great bow, didn't get a chance to do too much damage, and it finally gets back up in the air here. I have yet to see much healing go off from the High Elves, so the Star of Avalorn is still full effect that can be used. A little healing going off right there. Oh, Spirit Leech on the Star Dragon. And is that one Plague Claw Catapult still there? Plague Claw? Nope. Nope. Flaming Skull. Uh-oh. Rear charge into these. Oh, White Lions ain't gonna like that. Great plays by Hadries here by getting those Nekarn horsemen into really good opportunistic charges, threading the needle, getting everything up and going. I mean, he still has one whole good unit back here. There's in great health. I mean, he can charge this unit of unbraced spearmen. There's so many great plays you can still do with these Nekarn horsemen. So he's done a really great job of using this kind of not very elite cavalry unit to really great effect. Oh man, as bold charges again into this. I mean, that unit was on its last leg anyway, and he really wanted to get as much value out of it as he could, so he charged it headlong into the back of another unit of White Lions of Trace, which is eating up these Tomb Guards with halberds. Great usage there. Alright, and the back line here is completely clear. The only thing left is this one unit of Nekarn horsemen. So really, once it comes to cleaning that up, these Eagle Claw Bolt Throwers can now just shoot unimpeded into things. The Ushabti Great Bow will now have plenty of targets. I spoke too soon. The Nekarn Horsemen pushing into this unit of Spearmen here. getting any kind of picks they can. I haven't seen a Dragon Breath here either, so we have quite a few instruments at the disposal of the High Elves. I think if they get a good summon, or I'm sorry, a good lockup here on this unit, a good Dragon Breath could do quite a bit of damage to the remaining integrity of the Tomb Kings. A nice backline summon of Ushabti here. Great call on Hadri's part, getting these guys in a really vulnerable spot, or a really good spot. This unit of Ushabti Great Bows really getting just plucked apart. Nice breath attack into this unit of King Nekef's Scorpion Legion, trying to just push through this as fast as possible. Star of Avalorn kicking off, getting some good regen into these white lines of trace as well. Got a third unit kind of being able to pile into this to all benefit from this healing. The dragon is also benefiting from it. He's in that radius there. And you've got Arkan the Black's ability here kicking off. The Liber Mortis, 44% physical resistance, trying to hold off as they destroy this last unit of, or this one unit of white lines of trace. The dragon is going headlong for Arkan himself. Screaming Skulls are going all over the place as the Nekarn Horsemen wipe up the very last one over there. Oh man. These white lions are trying to get a good charge in here, maybe wrap up what's left of these King Nekeshes, or push into these great bows and these halberds. That's probably the most opportunistic charge for them. But getting this aura around on them, they're able to now delve out their physical resistance buff in an aura. Trying to shut down Arkan with this dragon here. He has just been wily the whole time, dude. Balance of power, though, is firmly in Heylow's favor as Hadri's tries to scrape by here. I think at this point, though, it's a pretty foregone conclusion. All that's left really is... Oh, the close-range breath attack onto Arkan here. All that's left is really these three units. I mean, he still has a pretty good unit. Oh, shit! He does have a... Yeah, that scared the crap out of me. He does have a pretty good-sized unit of halberds here and there, but right now, Arkan the Black, I think, is just barely going to get smashed apart. Earthblood kicking off on the Star Dragon. Trying to get some initial fight in here. Those Nekarn Horsemen have completely fallen away, and army losses kick in as they all crumble to dust. And Heylow pushes ahead 2-1. And so it's looking like we're gonna be seeing Heylow and Aristodemos in our final here, our final heat. This catapult came right for me. So again, you can see here that the focus of these Eagle Claw Bolt Throwers was to take out large constructs or artillery. Now, it did just that. It was able to shut down one of them entirely, only able to do 9 kills on it. The other one got 41 kills, which is really not that great against High Elves. But at the same time, Hadri's had a really good game with his Cav and his Carrion. He was able to get in the backline and shut down those Eagle Claw Bolt Throwers systematically. At the same time, jumping straight into the final, we're going to take like a 2-second break. I'm not even going to like put up a screen or anything. I'm just going to like change some stuff and talk to you guys for a sec. The Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower, though, were systematically shut down by those backline charges, by that like constant pressure that he put onto Heylow. So really great game there by Hadri's. And like I said, White Lines of Trace, they really reigned supreme there. 115, 106, 58, 77, just decimating this entire line of Tomb Guard here. So able to really put in the smackdown on the rest of their army. But let's get moving here into our next game. Triple Bolt Thrower out-memed my triple Memapult. We're on the last heat now. The Sotek. So big, let's all throw a huge F for Hadri's here. He subbed in at the last minute, and he did a great job. He was able to have a lot of fun here. All right. And played really good games here. Okay, so game name. WCCL. Oh, actually, let's change this, right? Yeah, unit size set to ultra? Psh, that's pish posh, man. So let's go ahead and put that up so you guys don't need to see all this. All right. Game is up, and we are good to go. Waiting for everyone to join in, and we'll be all set for our finals here. Our first map is multiplayer Crossroads variant. Dude, you couldn't fucking dump my protein powder in the ocean if you fucking tried, Dacklemore, you son of a bitch! But yeah, okay, I could do that. Alright, guys. Whew. Been a pretty wild one so far. What, we're about 2 hours and 15 minutes into it. Let's get this show on the road. We're at the finals here. Let's take a look. King of the Dead and Aristodemos played initially, and Aristodemos pulled out ahead again in a 3-round match. They went all three. They went the whole way. Aristodemos was able to pull it out. 2 unanswered wins. Then we had Heylow versus Hadries, and Hadries won the first game. And again, Heylow went to 2 unanswered wins against Hadries. Just talking to the competitors real quick, guys. Give me 1 sec. All right, just talking real quick to get everything all squared away, and we are good to go as I choose everything. Oh, it has been a wild ride today. Thanks for subscribing. Yeah, I don't want Ninja Hun to play because I don't want to have everyone like use kid gloves. It's not very fair playing against him. So right now we have our very first matchup at multiplayer Crossroads. Aristodemos is playing the Empire, and Heylow will be Chaos. A matchup of the ages, my brothers. We got a time travel over here. Let's take a look at our poll here, though. In the meantime, I told them that we need to do a little bit quicker picks here. Missing off whiskey. Alright, man, I'm just a little too fast for you, Ninja. Take a look at our poll. Alright, so stop, and you want to notify the chat they're winning. Okay, so number 3, the Sons of Malleus, is the biggest winner, with number 4, the purple one, being our second place at 11 votes. So maybe I'll be doing the Sons of Malleus. It's like, it's unfortunate because it's like, okay, I think of Age of Sigmar. I'm like, oh, okay, well, that'll be just kind of easy to paint. Gold, paint black, spray paint them gold, and then do the highlighting. Easy. Actually, Dr. Z, I really like the Girion Guard. Sotek, are you there? Say yes in chat if you are. Son of a bitch. The poll is rigged! Oh, guess Sotek's not there. You know what? Can't trust him. Can't trust a lizard. So, this will be our finals, our final heat here today, our best of 5. Our previous ones were, of course, best of 3. Heylow versus Aristodemos. They'll be squaring off. Our start on the multiplayer Crossroads, then Altdorf, Outskirts, the Tower of Hoeth, Tor, Garad, and Ruins of Parravon, if we get to those latter 2. Paint the turn hating Sigmarines. What does that mean? Think you should paint the turn hating Sigmarines? Like what color, Mads? I think so, Joe. I'm not really sure. I haven't read the lore on it too much. All right, Crazy C4, thanks for stopping in, man. Always love having you around, brother. Got our last. As soon as Heylow picks, we'll be getting going here. Milk for the Milk Throne, Cornflakes for the Cornflake God. Oh, man. An oldie but a goodie. Oh my god, only 76 likes? That is criminal. Guys, we need to get those likes up. Those likes have to happen. They've got to be way higher. Man, it is stiflingly hot in here. I'm out of water. Send help. You see 179? Oh, what the fuck? Oh. Zosha Samosha. If they don't implement Juggernauts of Corn, that'll be bad news. I'll sell Dacklemore into sex slavery. Well, you still you see 179. I don't see 200. Guys, make sure you're pressing that thumb button. Give me them likes. We have 15 away from 200, my bros. I actually can't look at the likes. I'm watching the live stream thing. Misha, what the fuck? You used to like to do your job. Now that you're like the mod for everyone's streams, you just don't care about me anymore. I'm old news. 191. 191. Can I get 9 more? 9 away. Let's get there. Let's get there together. All right. We're all loaded in. Time to do some butt fuck. Wait, what? All right, let's go ahead and take a look at our armies here. So we'll start off with the Empire. We have a pretty elite force here, right? We don't have a huge gun line like I would have expected in an open map like this. We actually pretty much have a pretty meager frontline force of spearmen with some great swords. In addition to that, we have the silver bullets here. The silver bullets, of course, doing their magic damage, their AP. Great unit to use against any kind of undead, any kind of ethereal, especially even chaos as well, because they have a bunch of nothing but armored units. Now, what is interesting here is I have a warrior priest on a mount with the Zintler's Reichsguard. Zintler's Reichsguard, of course, boom, getting their access to immune to psychology, which is always great, and anti-infantry. And they can do Vanguard. Another unit of Royal Altdorf Griffites alongside Karl Franzia on a horse. And then 2 mirrors of this, just not the Regiment of Renown, just 2 units of Reichsguard with a Jade Wizard on foot. So really they're looking to bring a pretty heavy cav game here. In addition to that, we have Chaos here with a bulkier front line, a far bulkier front line, anchored with some Chaos Warriors, Chaos Marauders in the front line to open up and eat any kind of initial damage. Aspiring Champions on top of them to buff up their leadership. There's a nice little pocket for this entire portion over here. Mirror Guard, and then 1 unit of Chaos Warriors on the anchor of each flank. Now they do also have Chaos Trolls, which are surprisingly good if used properly. They can do quite a bit of damage. They've gotten a little bit better in their leadership, and that they can hold a little bit longer, but they also have Regenerate, and they do quite a bit of weapon damage at 100 weapon damage. Now Sartorial, the Doom Bucket himself, alongside a Dragon Ogre Shaggoth there, and then 2 Manticores. So this should be actually pretty interesting. I'm pretty interested to see how this build works. It's a little bit different for Empire. You don't usually see as kind of skinny of a front line here. As you can see, the 2 armies meeting on the battleground here today. Hound's kind of doing some early game probing. Yay, 200 likes. He just trying to get some good command of the play field right now, right? Doing a lot of kind of movement back and forth with Cav to try and bait things out into any kind of opportunistic charges they can get. If they can solo out one of these Manticores, that'll be a good, really early pick. But really the name of the game is going to be a lot about placement right now. Good initial fire onto that Manticore. That thing is, the silver bullets are really well protected by just nice overlaps of any anti-large right in these pockets here, so they're pretty good and protected now. Karl Franzia looking to bait out that charge, moving down line, see if we can get Sarthori out, see if we can get that Manticore out. Anything to get a really good juicy charge with the Altdorf Griffites or even the Reichsguard. Reichsguard, of course, being the Empire Knightly Order of the Empire Knights. The Reichsguard are, our first charge right here into some Chaos Warriors. They have quite a bit of mass, so they absorb the charge just like tanks. But nonetheless, here we have some Chaos Trolls pushing in as well. Sartorial looking to get into that ass. And we have the Altdorf Griffites pushing through this unit of Chaos Marauders and trying to get right and directly into the cookie jar there. Now, on the other side, we have this unit of the Mirror Guard pushing into the Spearmen. Oh, look at this. Oh, right into the silver bullets. Shaggoth looking to drop the punishment onto them. threading the needle there. Oh, I thought he was going to push these around. I was like, holy God, that was a nice little push. Now bringing the Shaggoth over here to just swat at the Zintler's right guard. They have an Earthblood overcasted on them to give them additional healing. This unit of Spearmen is buckling quite hard under all this pressure here. Manticore diving down, looking to spread some terror, some pretty cheap terror. They're both focusing on this Jade Wizard to try and knock that healing out entirely from the game, which is a really good early play. Knock out an entire facet of the gameplay that Aristodemos will not be able to access. My mouth is so dry, I'm fucked right now. Charge of the Reichsguard into that Manticore, trying to push that Jade Wizard out of it, but doing whatever kind of damage they can between the Warrior Priest and the Karl Franz. If they can both stay on Sartoriel, they'll actually be able to crack him pretty hard and heavy. They both do quite a bit of damage, and they do magic attacks as well as flaming attacks. Okay, I'll fix the overlay. I totally forgot to change the names about that too, so we'll fix that at the beginning of next game. Sorry about that, guys. Oh man, the Life Wizard is out of the fight, and I mean things are still going pretty well. The balance power is still at 50%. You can see some units like this unit of the Mirror Guard are buckling. You can see some units over here of the Chaos Marauders are buckling. At the same time, these two units, or the characters of the Empire, are in good health. They do have some really good juicy targets here. The Manticores are starting to rampage. Sartoriel is starting to get in there to try to relieve them. Getting some good support in from the Altdorf Gryphites to get a good wrap up over here onto that Manticore, and supporting fire from these Silver Bullets, and getting these Spearmen into that fight as well. Now this does free up, of course, our two big daddies to try and help delve out some punishment to the KFC bucket. Warrior Priest is just going after that dragon ass though. Oh man, look at that. Just this giant soup of combat here. These trolls are all like picking their belly buttons and rubbing the lint on Karl Franz's face. So we have Shield of Faith, Stand Your Ground, Soulfire, all have kicked off here, trying to deal some just AoE damage to this entire blob, which is a really good initial play there. We also have that Foe Seeker kicked off on Karl Franz as well. That Lore of Life Wizard is all the way over there, and he's shattered, so he's never coming back to this fight. Sartoriel, though, just kind of on the outskirts of this fight. He's already gotten beat up a little bit by being an initial engagement. Oh, shit, here it is. Now, Karl Franz is a bit of a glass cannon. He's not the stockiest of lords, not the most stalwart, but if he gets in there and does some damage to Sartoriel, he could actually crack him quite quick. The Warrior Priest is surrounded on all ends. The balance of power is starting to shift in the favor of Chaos, actually, just slightly. If Sartoriel can do a good job of just cycle charging in and out, he'll be in a great shape. But oh man, the Warrior Priest is just—he's coming for it. I am on that horse and I am angry. Karl Franz is doing a good job too, kind of staying away from the things that are going to hurt him the most. Nice charge by the Royal Altdorf Gryphites, getting in there and getting a good surround on Sartoriel, trying to bring him down as fast as possible here. But you know, Sartoriel is so good at just kind of pushing out of that conflict as fast as possible. Manticores are shattered over there. Silver Bullet shooting downrange into both the Shaggoth. Oh no, Karl Franz! No for the Emperor, Sigma! Oh, and Karl Franz has been smashed by the Shaggoth, and that is it for the rest of the Empire army. You can see the balance power just shifting wildly in the favor of Heylow's Chaos. That was a pretty gruesome cockfight in the center there. I mean, those two were a very deadly combination to Sartoriel. They were able to dish out quite a bit of damage to the KFC Master. And, I mean, he weathered the storm, did a good job of staying out of that combat, and getting really choice engagements and choice charges there. Really great, really good play there on Heylow for getting a good movement around the map. But yeah, man, those Feral Manticores, they got into the backline very hot and heavy. They shut down the Life Wizard quickly, and I think that was the biggest thing. If Aristodemos didn't have that get shut down, he would have been able to keep Karl Franz alive, and if that had happened, Sartoriel would have been in a world of hurt. Oh, a rule break, huh? Looks like we have a rule break of 4 monsters. I didn't even see that. Fix this in the meantime here. Well, looks like we had a bit of a rule break there, so we have to decide if we're just going to restart it or if the win goes to not Heylow. Obviously, Heylow wasn't deliberately trying to be malicious there at all. Set the scoreboard up here in the meantime. Oh, what are you doing here? There we go. All right, gents, have a good night, man. Put that up. That's a little bit more. That's more inviting to watch. All right. All right, guys, just hashing this out here real quick, and we'll get going to our next one. Okay. So we've decided to move on, rather than doing a redo here, and give the wind to Aristodemos. Scoreboard now. There we go. So Aristodemos pulls ahead there. Heylow obviously wasn't trying to cheat there at all. He was just kind of having fun. So we decided then to just, because I'm now getting pushed for time, so I have about an hour left. So this will give us plenty of time to keep moving forward. What happened was that Heylow brought one too many monsters. He was one over. Typically, the way you're supposed to do this is that Heylow has to keep the same exact build, but he removes one monster and can spend those funds however he wishes, while Aristodemos can then build whatever he wants. But we just decided just to move forward with it then. Alrighty. Whiskey Jack is in the fucking house. Hey, what's up, Cincinnati? Archaon and Drogar is a monster, but he's not. Yeah, because Drogar's a monster, dude. Party may begin. Whiskey Jack is a liquor cabinet, you mean? Whiskey Jack is an inanimate object. I'm the only one that can tell him is there. What do you mean, brother? Yeah, so again, the rule was like he brought 2 trolls, a Dragon Ogre Shaggoth, and Sorthoriel. That's 4 monsters. You can only have 3. That was the rule break. So Aristodemos wins on a technicality there. How you guys are going at it? Dave McGee is rooting for Heylow. Do a little poll here then on that case. The poll will be, who will be our first winner? Oh, yes. Heylow or Aristodemos. All right, and the poll is up. Hey, thanks for subscribing, James. Remember, 2 vote, type exclamation point vote, exclamation point vote, all one word. Then 0 for Heylow or 1 for Aristodemos. God, I couldn't imagine being a bearded person in the tropics. That humidity would fuck my beard up, man. It would just be like sticking out. It'd be like a Super Saiyan, but a beard. It'd be disgusting looking. I'd be getting stuff stuck in it all the time, like fucking tarantulas and centipedes. There's his hand kicking out of a beard trap. Oh, and the tropics can use coconut oil. Just crack a coconut onto my beard. You know, I live in Southern California, and I'll be honest, everyone's like, oh man, Southern California, it's so pretty, it's so beautiful. And I'm like, no, I fucking hate it. I love, like, cold, dead-ass winter. Like, give me sub-30 degree, sub-zero temperatures. I'll be happy. Dude, spiders and slugs. No thank you, Cincinnati. If I ever saw Frozen Sea. Is that a movie or a location? I don't know what Celsius is. Is it related to Kelvin? I don't know what either of those are. Who's Calvin? Calvin and Hobbes? Alright, so while that's loading in, taking a look here. Aristodemos versus Heylow, our final bracket here. Getting things kicked off. They're loading into Altdorf Outskirts. Our next map is the Tower of Hoeth. If Aristodemos can win this one, he pulls up ahead 2-0. If we get a win here from Heylow, though, we will be getting a 1-1 tie. This is a best of 5. I do only have until 3:30, which is only another 45 minutes, so we might actually have to knock this down to a best of 3 if things kind of keep this rate up. Unfortunately, our issue with our missing competitor kind of ate up a good 20-30 minutes, so kind of had to move things around. Yeah, Heylow took 4 monsters instead of 3. 4 is the limit. $288K? What does that mean? Calvin? What is that? What are you talking about? Curse of Strawhide? Nice, Logan. Alright, so let's see what we got here. We have our armies lining up here. Dark Elves versus Skaven. Dark Elves for Heylow, or I'm sorry, for Aristodemos, and the Skaven for Heylow. So, what was that?
Fortune favors.
Hey, Cincinnati, thank you very much, man. Get him, Seabass! Coming in with a fat $20 donation. Thank you very much, sir. Always appreciated. There we go. Let's take a look at our armies here. So the Dark Elves have a really nice, good control of the board here. Nice, long, huge deployment. Bleak Swords, this way to kind of snuff out any kind of skirmisher play. Any gutter runners, any death runners, anything like that that can get this. They can get eyes on it very quickly. So we see a nice front line of Bleak Swords backed up with some Dread Spears. All the way in the far flank here we have Cold One Chariots supporting 2 Doomfire Warlocks and 2 units of Dark Riders with Repeater Crossbows, followed by 2 more units of Dark Riders with Repeater Crossbows. So a lot of range play is going to be at going on here. In addition to that, we have, what is this? A Supreme Sorceress? Yeah, Supreme Sorceress of Fire. So a lot of fireballs are going to be coming down range. We have a unit of Witch Elves. Now, as far as Heylow's army, we went with a nice center kind of column here of Stormrivermen with Swords and Shields, which is nice and good, like with a Tretch Craventail. In addition to that, you have a Warlock Engineer, 2 Doom Wheels, and a Hell Pit Abomination. Then a unit of Rat Ogres. Good, just 1 unit of Rat Ogres. I was going to say that's 2 monsters. Then some Skaven Slaves with Slingers, on top of a nice front kind of insulatory line of Skaven Slaves to absorb any kind of missile play. Yeah, I haven't seen Tretch in a long time, right? So Tretch Craventail here. Look at that little Tretcher. A little Tretchy. Tretcher. Tretch! There we go. He does have his anti-large. He's got to scurry away as they all do. He didn't take the Lucky Helm on him, it looks like. So, it's pretty much a nice souped-up version of a Skaven Lord here. Taking a look at the battle map here, you can see the Dark Elves kind of closing in on their quarry. They even have a nice placement of Dark Riders in the back that I didn't even notice. So those will be coming in hot and heavy. This will be a pretty Solid fight coming out here. Uh-oh. Fireball heading right over here. Or the Hell Pit Abomination trying to do some juking. Just clips it. Oh yeah. Oh, so it should be fun. Dark Elves into these Skaven slaves, getting also shot by a Doom Wheel on the left flank. Got this paltry unit of Rat Ogres jumping in here as well. Oh man, look at that firepower going off. We got everything hitting right into this unit. Of course, the Skaven slaves are just kind of eating the firepower as to be expected. Soul Blight and Word of Pain both going off right here. Another charge right here into these. God, that debug camera is pretty intense. Going to just push right through those Skaven slaves. Remember, they do have physical resist, and the Skaven slaves aren't going to be able to do much against that. Peter Crossbows just kind of plucking things apart, getting more downrange here to start shooting into these slaves. Now, the big thing is cracking open these Storm Vermin. They don't really have a lot of units on foot that can do that. It's going to be mainly reliant on their cavalry and maybe even tying them up with their Witch Elves. Warlock Engineer, though, can do quite a bit of damage. Oh, no! Doomwheel getting just focused by the Repeater Crossbow play. Pretty hard and heavy, like. Doombolt just hitting it, too. As you can see here. Look at this big bone dad. Look at this dude just slopping up these things. Oof. Doomwheel smacking through those bleak swords. Uh-oh. Warp Lightning going off right into these Slaanesh Harvesters. They're cleaning up over here. They're taking care of those Rat Ogres. They've pretty much won their left flank fight, and they can push down into the rest of this army here. The center flank is, or the center portion of the battlefield is going, not so well. Right flank, though, is won by the Skaven for the most part, as they have a Doomwheel, Rat Ogres, and these big chunkin' Hell Pit Abominations. Oh man, look at this goodiness. Having Warp Gill locking her in place. Fortunately, they don't have a lot of range that can do anything here, but... Oh, Warp Lightning going right onto these Witch Elves. Oh yeah, Warp Lightning does so much damage, and you can cast it so fast and so frequently. Doomwheel here getting some threat by those Dark Fires with Peter Crossbows, and it's really a matter of just kind of keeping the pressure on those things. Those can rove through the Dark Elf infantry, and you can see that this one's already pretty much dead from the engagement with the with the Repeater Crossbows and the Slaanesh Harvesters on the right flank there. Balance power, though, still half and half right now. Supreme Sources of Fire looking for some good targets, looking for some juicy targs. Those Cold One Chariots, though, I haven't seen them get into anything. I got one kill. Got a good target though on those Storm Vermin. Just juked out that Warp Lightning. Trying to just mop some stuff up here. Really Tretch is kind of just, he's using those Rat Ogres and he's using his Hell Pit Abomination to just kind of insulate himself, which is a good play. Not getting too drawn out in any one direction. Initially he was one direction of Great Band. He was hanging out with the Storm Vermin, which are now pushing into these Dark Riders here. But he's doing a good job of, again, just like hanging out with their stuff. Oh man, Hell Pit is going to get hit with the Fireball and all these Repeater Crossbows. Oof. Cold One's over here. Another Dark Bolt in that way. Then another Lightning Cannon. Another Warp. See, Warp Lightning you can just cast so often. And it does so much damage if you don't move out of it. Admittedly, it does more damage to infantry than it does to cavalry and large targets, but still. Damage being poured into that guy. Supreme Sorceress has landed now to hopefully just pop this Warlock Engineer entirely. The Doomwheel has come back from fleeing just a second ago. But it really looks like the balance of power is shifting very heavily in the Dark Elves' favor. It's at about like a 70-30 right now, and as things kind of start to capitulate across the rest of the Skaven army, we have a terror, we have a shatter on the Rat Ogres. Oh, there goes the Hell Pit Abomination. I think really it's just a matter of popping Tretch, and that'll be game for the Dark Elves. Aristodemos will pull ahead 2-0. Just kind of mops things up. He's got plenty of answers for everything right now. Vermin for the Vermin Tide. And there it goes for that there Doom Wheel. Oh, look at you, Tretch. Tretch just wants to... Nobody wants to play with me. Tretch can actually do a lot of damage. 400 weapon strength is nothing to scoff at. And he can do a lot of damage to that Sorceress, though. He does have to kind of be wary of that. I mean, 80 armor is still very heavily armored. A final... Dude, look at that. It just does like so much damage, this shit. I mean, Warp Gale locks down the... So that's something I didn't know. If the Sorceress is on foot, like on the ground, it still locks it down. Okay, Army Loss is kicking in now for the Skaven, unfortunately. That last little Alpha Strike did not pan out so well. And Aristodemos pulls ahead 2-0 here against Heylow. All right here. So, Rat Ogres do a good job, of course, of like eating up large targets, right? They're pretty cheap and efficient ways to just kind of beat shit up. And I really like their use case in this scenario. It's 64, 85 kills on them. But really, I mean, those Dark Riders repeater crossbows, they were able to just pick off so many things at once. Like it was a lot of fun to be had. Okay, so our next one will be the Tower of Hoeth. And if we go to it, this is either going to be the last game, or Heylow can pull out 2 wins and pull ahead and take the tournament. Or we're going to go to a game 5. So we'll see what happens here today. This is our first of 4 Warpstone Cup Competitive League games. And we've already had King of the Dead play today. We've already had Hadris play today, who subbed in for Gundabad. And we'll be seeing what happens here between our 2 finalists, Aristodemos and Heylow. Thanks, Lord Phoenix. I appreciate it, man. Giga Slayer, I couldn't answer that for you, man. Whew. Taking off the headphones. Oh, my ears. Oh, la, la, la. Oh, man. So can we be seeing Wood Elves versus Greenskins? We've seen a lot of Greenskins today. This is going to be our first Wood Elf play. We've seen quite a bit of Dark Elves, and I think only 1 or 2 High Elves. A lot of Vampire Coast. A lot of Tomb Kings, actually, too. So this will be fun to see Wood Elves played. Because usually they're kind of like one of the ones that people go for the first, depending on what their play is, but a lot of Wood Elves. I don't have a link to the rules right now. My elf ears. Yes, Lord Phoenix.
Become a high elf, precious. Roger. Sends me a link and I will put it in the chat.
Misha has the link written on her hand. The whole huge URL. Oh, man. It is a long time to be sitting in a chair. Like, at least with, like, the Everchosen and stuff like that, like, we were getting up and moving around, so... It's been, we're at, what, third hour? Yeah, coming on the third hour right now. Alright. I will thank you, Wicked. Wicked, you did not send them to me. I don't know who you said you sent them to. For it was not me. Oh, I will. After this, I'll stretch my back out and hear a pop a bunch of times. It'll feel great. Oh, I sent it to Whiskey Jack. Okay. All right, Tower of Hoeth, which is one of my favorite maps here too. Look at this badass. This thing. Pinnacle. Oh. I am. Look at this. The cool thing about the developer camera is I can do stuff like this. Can't do stuff like this with a standard camera, but I can just keep fucking going. And you can see far off. Okay, so if this is Safari, so Safari is facing that way. Over there is Eatane. That river is too close. Over there is Avalorn. Safari's here. Over there is Kothic. Avalorn, I guess, yeah, be over there. Right across there would be your dead island, and you'd see like Tiranoc and Illyrian. Safari's like nuzzled right up in that that mountain range up there. Like, oh, all the way down. Gotta get all the way down. Gotta get all the way down. Before the game starts, I gotta get all the way down. Oh shit! Okay. This rainbow? High elves love rainbows. Stop it, Ninja Hunt. Alright, so let's see who sets up first, and we'll go into that army. We have got Aristodemos here on the Wood Elves and Hadris on the Greenskin. If Hadris pulls out, or not Hadris, Jesus Christ. If Heylow pulls out a win here, he will stem the tide, but Aristodemos needs one more win to clinch this here. He's got his first win on a technicality here. Then the second win, and then this one might be his third. We'll see if that happens. It'll be the end of our stream here today. Otherwise, we'll be going on to game 4 or 5. So, all right, so for the Lord, looks like we have a female Glade Lord. So we have the Parravon Rama, which is going to lock things down, give a massive debuff to their missile resistance. We also have a Spellsinger of Life on a Pigeon as well. And we're going to be seeing 1, 2, 3, 4 units of Deepwood Scouts supported by 2 units of Wild Riders. Got some Eternal Guard here as well, and another unit of Wild Riders with shields. So pretty much an Alpha Strike. And you can see here that the Greenskins have made a formation of an arrow. And they have a good front line. Do it. Best army ever. They have a good front line here. They're mixing up Squig Hoppers with some Night Goblins, and then some Mangy Marauders, and then some Night Goblins, and then some Orc Boy Big Guns, led by the spear point here, Azog the Slaughterer on foot, no less, followed by Black Orcs in the back, well, of course, and I haven't seen the Crimson Killers in ages. These guys are so awesome. They're probably one of my favorite Black Orc units, or probably my favorite Greenskin units. I don't like Greenskins. But yeah, he's gone with a lot of Regiments of Renown. Looks like it's all of them. Oh, shit. Yeah, all the Regiments of Renown. Ragnarok Queen, Tief Rabbas. All the Regiments of Renown were used here today against the wily Wood Elves. Look at this. He just, like, positioned this, like if you look at the map, is this just outright point? I'm not sure, Whiskey Jack. So Deepwood Scout's kind of pushing over here to the side, using the Spellsinger to kind of scout ahead, looking for any kind of Arrow Boys. Of course, the Rusty Arrows here, no less. And I mean, they could do quite a bit of damage, as we all know. Deepwood Scouts looking to get in range of something juicy here. And here it is. First volley coming off right into these main... Or the wolf. Oh, okay. I thought it was going into the wolf fires. I was like, damn, that was a weird target. Parravon Rama right... Or not Parravon Rama, I'm sorry. The shot I can't remember off the top of my head. Into the Hammer of Gork, trying to knock out one of these artillery pieces here. Wild Rider charge into these forest goblins, just mulching through some big old 8-legged freaks, which was a great movie. And then a wrap up here. Oakboard big guns are really going to beat the brakes off of these Wild Riders with shields. Wild Riders rely on their charge to really do the majority of their damage. They do have really nice physical resistance, but prolonged fighting with them against something like this is really going to do just tons of damage to them. Oof. We got the Curse of Enrier here going off as well. Huge reduction to the melee attack of both these the chariots and the night goblins. But looking to get into that back line here. Ooh, look at that wah. You increase the speed, your charge bonus, your melee attack here, trying to catch up with these Eternal Guard. The Eternal Guard getting smashed to pieces. Ragnarok Spider here, trying to get a good target. Spellsinger of Life just kind of hanging out. Nice breath attack here onto the Night Goblins. Little summon up of the Spider Hatchlings as well. The Deepwood Scouts just looking to get some good range, good target, and they've focused all onto that Ragnarok Spider here. Ooh, did that miss? I didn't think that thing could miss. It missed. Damn. Spellsinger of Life is in real bad shape here. Opal Amulet is popped for that damage resistance. Got the physical resistance from Shield of Thorns here. But man, she got caught out pretty hard and heavy there. As we can see it from the back line here, the Wild Riders have chased off what's left of this catapult. Mangy Marauders are in flight, as well as the Broken Tusk Mob. The Wood Elves are really starting to get an upper hand here as the balance of power creeps towards the Wood Elves. It's slowly but surely, each and everything that's getting attacked is starting to pick it further and further northward. Northward? I guess that's what I'm sticking with. Another summon up from our Ragnarok Queen. Hey, thank you very much, man. Since today I couldn't see what it was, how much it was for, but give me a second, I'll take a look, brother. Deepwood Scout shooting down into Ozog here, just on foot, trying to get any kind of damage he can, supported by his Crimson Killers. They're just getting completely Deepwood Scouted here. Yes, absolutely it did, Wicked. It did not make contact. Soulblight has ripped off onto the the Wood Elves here, which is going to be really nice when it comes to fighting that Glade Lord, but at the same time, your Parravon Rama was just dropped. That's why I saw a prey going off. Guess not. Oh, a net somewhere. Spellsinger of Life is just now coming back here. The Deepwood Scouts are pretty well occupied though, right? Trying to pick up Ozog with this charge here from the Wild Riders. Oh, man. Those Deepwood Scouts are just kind of moving across the line, shooting, plucking things apart as they kind of mosey on through the whole entire Tower of Hoeth. The entire infrastructure is destroyed here. So this is coming out of someone's security deposit, most assuredly. And the Wood Elves pushing even further in the balance of power here. Ragnarok Queen, I'm surprised she's actually staying leadership-wise for so long. But she is supported, I guess, by some of her little bros. And, never mind, Ozog's here to kind of buff things up. Spellsinger is out of this fight, saying, no, 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 don't take my peanuts. Oh, man. And the balance of power now is pretty much going to start shifting as soon as we see these Crimson Killers get defeated. And the Ragnarok Queen get put down. Oh, there it is. And Army Loss is kicking in, and Aristodemos pulls ahead 3-0 in the finals winning the very first Warp token, as it is called, for the Warpstone Competitive League. Warpstone Cup Competitive League. There it is. Woo! So those Wild Riders, they really clinched it. 155, 166. They were really doing a lot of damage there. Let's go ahead and update this. Let's not do any of this. So, our very first win here will be going to Aristodemos here. Meaning that Heylow will be knocked out. We'll be seeing a... Hold on one second. All right. So that is going to wrap up our stream here today. So Aristodemos will be pulling ahead here. We were just talking to Aristodemos and Heylow, and we'll do a grudge match of just those two, like a best of 7 or something like that. Where they can just kind of duke it out in honor of the infraction. Unfortunately, I ran out of time myself, and it looks like Heylow did as well. So we'll be wrapping things up rather than having them rematch that first game. But that is the very first of our Warpstone Cup League that is in the books here. Let me go ahead and roll credits. Gotta bring this back up. Boom. Okay, there we go. Guys, thank you so much for joining us here today. And let me see here. Oh, Cincinnati, thank you very much. This bud's for our narrator, our own War Priest of Sigmar. Thank you very much, Cincinnati, dude. I appreciate it, man. Another fat $20 donation from Cincinnati. Again, these things are always very huge for me, dudes. I mean, this is my full-time job nowadays, so. Holy crap. I am sweating. I have lights on me. Like, there's these lights all around me, so I am going to take a shower for the love of fucking God. How do I smell? I mean, it's a brand new shirt. It smells good. But guys, thanks so much for joining us here today. Huge shout out again to Cincinnati, to Colin. Colin again. Who else did I mention for a super chat? Liam and Wolf, all of you guys for your subscriptions or your donations here today. Huge shout out to all of our competitors, Heylow, Aristodemos, as well as King of the Dead and Hadris, for at least a special shout out for Hadris for stepping in. He came in out of nowhere there. I had promised him a spot, and it worked out pretty well there. So guys, thank you so much for watching here today. We'll have this up on the channel. You can always watch these in the meantime, or rewatch these, I guess you could say. I'll brab one. Nothing better than brabbing a beer at the end of the day. Did I say brab? Enjoy the rest of your day or night, man. Take it easy. See everyone in chat. Yeah, guys, if you want, I will be streaming Darkest Dungeon on my Twitch. I might start today. I might start tomorrow. My Twitch is always so casual, so just look me up, ItalianSpartacus on Twitch. You can see all the goodies there. But as always, guys, thanks so much for watching here today. Have a good one, and take care.